seeing that start very shortly.
Hello?
Hi!
Hey, I made it.
You made it. So we've got another race. Here we go again, starting from scratch, Mega Man 1. And this time, we've got double cut instead of double guts.
Double cut? Nice.
So instead of seeing that that sort of scary section of guts being played, we're going to see the runners by that time will have the beam, and they'll also be grabbing the beam without having Guts' weapon. So there'll be some sort of clipping shenanigans where we'll see them get into the wall and grab the beam from the other side almost of the Guts blocks. It's kind of a cool trick.
Yeah, well, it potentially could be a little slower just depending on if they manage to get into the magnet beam collection, how quickly they're able to do it. But in general, it will be faster to do it this way.
Right, yeah. Prissy obviously is no stranger to this category. He's been putting a lot of work into this game recently. We've seen him actually have the record of this category 2 different times, I think, in the last 2 weeks or a week or so. Like, the record has just jumped around a lot. So it's been kind of cool to see him put a lot of work into this. Him and Fasta and Nero have been sort of swapping the first place time on the leaderboard a little bit lately, but so expect to see some pretty strong play, I think, from him. And I'm pretty interested to see how Lightning does here. This is, again, I think this is his first. I think it's his first race of the tournament.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah. Ooh, and he does take a death there and cut, so it's gonna have to be a little bit careful. 1-up drops in Mega Man 1 are really rare, so unfortunately taking deaths, usually if you start to die a lot and like you're getting low on lives, you're more likely to probably get your lives back via a game over than you are to actually get a 1-up drop.
Yeah, cut is actually a deceptively difficult stage. It's easy to take a lot of hits, and then there's the Stomper at the end that does a ton of damage that you just can't avoid sometimes.
Yeah, that big eye deals 10 damage, so you see like Lightning right now going over to pick up that health. That health will give him 10 hit points, and so if the big eye hits him, he'll still have plenty of health now for the Cutman fight.
Yeah. Always a good idea to make sure that you survive to go into the boss corridor, even if it takes a couple seconds to collect that health out of your way.
Yeah, checkpoint priority is definitely important. So, Prissy's now into Elec. This is the longest stage in Mega Man 1, and it's mostly because of this climb. These ladders move really slow, unfortunately, and so anytime you can jump or use the magnet beam in some way to speed up the stage, it's incredibly ideal to do that. So we'll probably see, once Prissy gets the magnet beam, you'll see a lot of beams where he's just trying to essentially ascend the ladders without really
without climbing them.
Yeah, climbing them is just terrible. He is going left route, so we'll see if he can get this corner jump. Ooh, he does. Very nice. First try.
Excellent.
It's a little bit faster to go that way because you don't have to wait for the Yoku blocks to spawn in from the right side.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of time waiting for the block on the first screen, but you gain that much plus more, just not having to wait for all the blocks on the right side on the next screen.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go.
Beam collection.
Yep, let's see how fast Prissy can get this. He's got to do a 1-frame tap of down and fire on the same frame to get stuck on this ladder. He's having some issues with it here. There he goes, he's got it.
Oh, he's trying to do the right side climb right now.
Ooh, he's got to be careful if he does that. He doesn't want to accidentally walk back in and get jailed.
Whew, a little close there.
A little scary there, but he's safe. But yeah, like Patat was mentioning, like, you do need to kind of do that pretty quickly to save time with it over the Guts first route. So, like, even struggling to get onto that ladder there, like, Prissy needs to now get some pretty decent Guts stage execution and maybe some zips to probably really make this route faster, unfortunately. But it's always cool to still see those clips done.
Yeah. It's good luck on the big eye. Doesn't get stomped.
Yeah. See how his elect climb goes here.
Going for the 3-beam climb.
Lightning's also now going for his beam. He gets into the wall a lot faster, actually. Now he has to get to the beam here. Trying to play it a little bit safe. I think he's a little bit paranoid he's gonna get caught in Mega Jail here.
Yeah.
So he's not quite getting the inputs he needs. Prissy actually running out of beam. Ooh, gets knocked down. He's gonna have to be careful now. There, Lightning gets his beam. He gets out of the wall. So Prissy, ooh, Prissy's health now is dangerously low. But assuming that he gets the execution on Elect correct, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, he probably would have been a one-shot kill anyway. So
Yeah.
he looks like he's fine.
Getting hit by Elect's Elect attack is really painful. Fortunately, his body does less, but it's still pretty easy to get sniped and take a lot of damage there.
And we saw that just the last race. Somebody got Elect beamed, so definitely a real danger. And also another good luck jump from the big eye for Lightning, so
yeah.
Kind of unusual. Those guys are usually jerks.
Yeah. Is he trying to set up the first zip over the ice here? I think that's the right pixel.
Yeah, it looks like he's got this first zip here. Yep, nails it. Really good.
And then gets the correct position there.
Perfect.
Excellent first screen.
Perfect beam execution there. That was really good. He's got plenty of beam now, too. He's still going to want to grab this refill here, even though he doesn't technically need it, because he can use the beam to zip in the corridors. So you see him actually stop there to get that beam, because it can save a potential couple seconds. Ooh.
Yeah, going for the second wrap there.
Yeah.
You can't. You aren't able to do the. If you miss one beam, you aren't able to do the corridor zip. But it does save quite a bit of time to get the wrap there if you're able to get it.
See if you can get a corridor here. Just a hair too low on that beam. And again, just like probably 1 pixel too low on a couple of these. So unfortunately, no corridor zips.
Every zip in Mega Man 1 is pixel perfect. You have to have the beam lined up on the exact perfect pixel, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah, so it makes them pretty tricky. Like, it takes a lot of work to get good at this game. Like, you have to really practice and get a good feel for the placements of the beams.
Lightning going the water route. The water does slow you down, and because it's slowing you down and you have to kill enemies in your way, there does end up being some drops, and that can lag quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, taking a lot of hits too. Probably will grab this. No, is he not going to grab the health? Nope. So he's got to be careful a little bit through the rest of the stage. There's that big eye at the end, so even if he gets all the way there, he's going to have to be a little bit cautious. Oh, 1 HP. This is not looking good. Do you just take a death here almost, I wonder? Okay. He is gonna take a hit, unfortunately. Not intentional, I don't think.
No, I think he just missed jumping up onto that beam.
Yeah. Prissy getting another wrap here in fire. Very nice. You can still set up this zip in fire here. It's one of the easier ones. He's got the faster setup.
Fast setup.
Very nice. Doesn't even use the ladder. Very good.
Looks like he's gonna go for a corridor zip here at the end of fire too.
Ooh, this section of ice is looking a little scary. Okay, I think he's alright. Lightning gets across.
Okay, he made it.
Again, not really getting lucky on the corridor zips, but Prissy nailing a lot of really tough strats again in fire.
Alright, there's his health pickup for the last screen. Or for the Stomper.
Yeah, and thankfully he
jumps over him
was,
anyway.
Yeah, he was able to get over him, so that's good. Getting a little more again from one of these penguins.
Yeah.
So Prissy got a couple more stages to go. He's got Bomb and Guts. Lightning with the same, but also one more extra stage here. So Prissy out to a little bit of an early lead here. But again, showing why he's up there. Yeah, it's like the fact of like it's hard to keep up when the guy you're running against is probably capable of getting, you know, the record in this category at the moment.
Yeah.
So definitely no shame. Lightning actually placing his beam 1 pixel too high, it looked like there. That one's a little better. Using the ladder to set up the zip makes it really easy to set it up, but you do cost yourself a little bit of time because you have to walk over to the ladder to set it up.
Yeah, it still saves time to set it up from the ladder, just you take out a little bit because of the setup. Prisi doing the fast setup for the bomb zip too, very nice.
Yep. Yeah, very nice. Good usage of the magnet beam for Lightning to just sort of avoid these fire pillars. And Bomb is down for Prissy.
Does he know about this wrap? It doesn't look like he knows about the wrap zip there on that screen.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a little tricky because it's a little unintuitive, where you have to like take damage and then bonk your head on the ceiling, and that lets you do the wrap there.
Yeah. Lightning trying to find the pixel here to set up the zip. There it is. Hopefully he's got it. Looks like he jumped from the right location. There's the zip. Oh, he got bonked by the bullet bill. And unfortunately, gets knocked into the lava. That's unfortunate. He nailed it. Like, he got the zip.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You either have to go a little earlier than that, or a little bit later. Just from the missile. Its oscillation. It stays in the same part of its oscillation as it scrolls back on screen.
Right. So Lightning having to go through fire again, unfortunately. Prissy into Guts. He's actually at the end here. He finally does get one of those corridor zips. Gets double corridor zips. Very nice. Again, those are pretty tough to set up. Those are what he was going for in a lot of the other stages there. So cool to see that he got a couple of them back to back like that. Is really solid.
Yeah.
Oh. No ass grab, unfortunately.
Get the butt grab.
Yeah. So into Rockman 2. Prissy is going to be playing Rockman 2, not normal mode on Mega Man 2, so we'll be seeing a slightly more difficult game, but a faster game due to
Nice difference.
Yeah. Short weapon gets. So here we go, Lightning setting up the zip again. Ooh, jumped a little bit late that time, so he actually screen wrapped and grabbed the ladder at the bottom of the screen. So he's gonna have to try to set it up again. That looked a little bit better. Here we go. Oh, again! Getting that same zip. And the bullet bill just knocking him down.
A little unfortunate. Not...
At this point, yeah. At this point, he doesn't have enough beam anyway to do it again, so he'll be... Unless he walks... No, actually, he doesn't. He doesn't have enough. He would need at least 3 beams.
You have to have 3 to make it. So he'll have to do the screen the normal way.
Yeah.
We'll see if he elects to use Elec or Ice. both are viable. You kind of take more damage using ice, but it's a little faster due to just the extra swap.
Right. Prissy gets Flash Man before actually getting flashed, so that's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, the Rockman 2 flash fight is a very impressive watch to do, or when it's done correctly.
Lightning with really low health here coming into this firefight, so hopefully he can use Select to his advantage here. Ooh, shot goes through. He's gonna have to get another one off. He's gonna have to jump over this. Okay, there it is. The one thing in Mega Man 1 is when a boss fires something at you, just because the boss dies doesn't mean that their shot disappears. So you still have to dodge projectiles that are coming at you.
Yeah, it's still possible to die even after killing the boss.
Yeah, you gotta collect that orb. Prissy's into heat now, so we'll be seeing fast air after this.
This is the item 3 throw, but that lets you get a little bit better of a climb on the jump just after that. So
yeah.
not too big of a deal.
Yeah, it saves you about a second and a half if you can get it, I think. But it just prevents you so you don't have to walk around that little lip. Ooh. Lightning has a little bit of an early select pause, so he fell all the way down, so he had to climb back up, unfortunately, there.
Is he doing the dreaded Yoku blocks? And you to get through them?
Looked like their Lightning might have missed freezing the Joe with ice. That Joe is very persistent if you don't freeze him, so definitely want to do that.
Yeah, the Joes in MM1 will chase you for the entire screen if you don't freeze them.
Yeah, they've got nowhere better to be. Probably one of the most well-programmed enemies, actually, by Wily, if you think about it.
Yep.
I don't think too many other enemies were as smart as that. Ooh, Prissy kind of getting cornered here by Heat. He's gonna have to be a little bit careful. His health now is very low. He can't take another hit from Heat's body. So, sort of abandons the bumper jumps.
Yeah. And Lightning doing the final screen walk.
Yeah, we've seen a few zipless walks through that room lately. Pretty long screen too, so the zip really does save quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that's probably the most beneficial zip to learn in Mega Man 1.
Yeah, it's one of the easier ones too, so one more stage left for Lightning before he heads off to Mega Man 2.
And prisiii coming into fast air.
Yeah, this is a pretty critical stage in this game for this category. Like, we've seen lots of runners lose a lot of time here, or save a lot of time on their opponents, so hopefully prisiii doesn't have too many issues with it.
Gets the good back boost.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up to do Granny Air here. So he can do one damageless.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And gets a good burn manipulation. Good bird. Manipulation.
Yeah, you wanna make sure that two of those little birds stay on screen, so you try to manipulate the way that you're positioned so that when the birds come out of the egg, they fly at a very specific direction. And that allows you to keep two of them on screen. And basically it just makes it so that another bird won't spawn in your way. Since you're still on item 1, you can't kill the birds. Again, similar there. See prisiii turning left to spawn that bird from the left so that the birds are behind him now and not in his way. And it makes just this whole section easier. And he also utilizes the bird so that when the bird goes off screen, it actually despawns one of the fan guys.
Very nice fire shield strats from Lightning to one-shot the what are they, like, Met construction workers. It's a good strat, actually.
Prissy taking a lot of hits.
Okay.
He should be okay. Oh, wow. I don't know if he was gonna make that jump.
I don't think he was either. I think at best that would be a double KO.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Oh, Guts giving Lightning just a terrible pattern, showing why this bomb weapon is so terrible. Okay, there's a good jump there. Bomb's weapon is pretty bad. Like, it always gets thrown. Like, you can't really control how light or how heavy he throws it, so it always goes the same distance. And then it takes forever to blow up. So you're just waiting and waiting and hoping that Guts doesn't move out of the way.
Alright, let's go with Biggie.
Off to Clash Man. See if he can nail the Biggie special.
He gets through.
Looks like he's got the setup.
Got it.
He's got it. Very, very nice. That's not an easy thing to do. That's a very difficult thing. You gotta have those item 1 placements very, very precise. And your movement has to be good. But that saves quite a bit of time even off of the second screen setup, so very nice job by Prissy.
It's actually fairly difficult because the you can't land on the right item 1 too early, or you end up zipping too soon and you fall out of the zip.
Right.
And if you go too late, then you just don't end up in the ceiling at all. You bonk your head.
Not only that, but like the zip around, like you see the second part of it, it's like you have to jump off of that item. Or you don't get like that really good placement in the next screen when you climb up, which costs you time. So there was a couple things in that was pretty impressive. Lightning is into the Flash fight. He's on normal, so this fight should be quite a bit easier. And Flash goes down right away. No double hits, unfortunately.
No double.
So Clashman is down for Prissy. So Prissy's actually on even fairly decent pace right now, for himself. I think he's running against not his PB splits. He's running against his probably his race splits for this category, but he's still pretty close to his current race splits. So that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that looks like that's what he's doing in this, and he's doing a pretty good job at it thus far.
Yeah. Other than the one little hiccup he had in Elec, I think it was. Yeah. Where he had some issues in the climb there. That was like the only real thing. Ooh, doesn't quite get this set up here, so he's gonna either have to try again. Yep, he's gonna go for it. There you go, second try.
He's gonna turn the lights back on.
Yep, we've seen a lot of runners do that. I think that seems to be the thing that most runners prefer to do almost now. See a lot of lights coming back on. Lightning is riding. He's going air second, so he's got to ride the cloud platforms because he doesn't have item 1. It's a little slower, obviously, because you got to wait these out, but obviously it makes heat stage a little easier because you have the item 2 then.
And you get to skip the Yoku block section. And prisiii does not soft lock. He manages to wiggle himself into the door.
Yeah, one of the very few zips you can actually soft lock in this game with. There's actually a lot of zips in this game that people say you can soft lock on that you actually don't. You just have to sort of find your way around through the screens and find the place where you can get yourself killed to respawn. Pretty nice quick fight.
You kill yourself upon an enemy that's in the screen already, or you just find a pit and fall through it.
Yeah. Ooh. Lightning doesn't get that turnaround bird, so he's got more bird problems, and unfortunately he was on the left side of that single block when he got hit, so he got knocked right back into the pit. He's gonna have to be a little bit careful now. Meanwhile, Prissy setting up the easiest zip in Mega Man 2, and the longest one. Very, very nice setup.
Yep. The only nice thing about dying there, specifically in air, is you're past the checkpoint, so you don't have to go through the first screen again and wait out all the clapping.
Oh yeah, for sure. Having to do that again is terrible. Having some bad luck with these birds, but I think he'll be okay now. Meanwhile, Prissy has a pretty solid metal stage. Gonna get into this boss room pretty good. Lightning getting a actually pretty decent airman pattern. Gets the 3 cycle. That pattern that he got probably could have got a 2 cycle with, but it's a little tricky to do that. You gotta sort of know how to place your buster shots around the air shooters, so sometimes that can be still difficult to do, even if you know how the fight goes.
Yeah.
Solid metal stage from Prissy there.
Very good metal from Prissy, actually. Got the low jump start for the manipulating him.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see dog scrolls. No, we're gonna see
no
flash.
I don't think too many people have gone for dog scrolls. We've seen Darko go for I don't even know what you would call them. The poor man's dog scroll, I guess. So like a little bit easier and safer.
Has managed to get past all 3 dogs.
Yeah, very nice. But we haven't seen too many people actually do the actual dog scrolls.
Yeah.
Zoda might be the only person that goes for it. I think Zoda did it, right?
I believe so.
I don't think anybody else did it. I think most of the other runners are doing Flash. So Lightning's got the item 3 here going. Let's see if he can get the zip. Ooh, placement on the wall was a little too high. Again, he does get on the item this time though, so hopefully he can get the zip. And Prissy, meanwhile, just getting through Goodwood, solid. You notice that he's switching to air here, air shooter. It's faster in difficult mode to kill Woodman with air, and that's just because you can't kill Wood with 1 heat shot in this mode. You have to kill him with 2 full charged heat shots, and since heat charges up very slow, it's a lot faster to just use air and shoot right through Woodman's shield and get like the double hits with air. So another really nice stage from Prissy.
Yeah. And Lightning gets the low item 2 ride, so he manages to collect the life on the way across as well.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of chuckle at the bubble waterfall where it just destroys the bitrate.
Yeah. I was watching for some specific movement there on item 2 that I saw Prissy do earlier this morning, I think, or maybe it was yesterday, but he didn't do it this time, so I'm wondering if maybe it was just a backup thing that he does. But it was kind of a cool manipulation, but he gets a pretty nice item 2 fly this time anyway, so really good.
Does a B trigger for the zip, which can be a little dangerous if you do it too early, then you end up zipping low into the spikes.
Yeah, so it's kind of risky, but he gets it. Very nice. Health is a little lower here, but it shouldn't matter a whole lot. Bubble isn't one of the harder bosses here, so as long as he can get through with the only like getting hit once, it should be okay. Meanwhile, heat is down for Lightning, so he's got all his items now for zipping purposes.
Going in the Crashman stage.
And there's Prissy finishing Mega Man 2.
He's gonna do the screen 2 zip, the impossible zip.
So we had Magnet first and Gemini first in the last race. Today we've got Top first, and we'll see what Lightning goes for when he gets to Mega Man 3. But we've seen all 3 routes now tonight, which is kind of interesting. We didn't really get to see the actual Gemini strats, but it was still Gemini first nonetheless. So it's kind of cool to see the variety now. You can see the full sort of route option for Mega Man 3. The reason there's so many different routes for this game because the menu is so fast, so it really opens up for a good variety of possible strats in the stages. It's not till after Mega Man 3 that they really slowed the menu down, which makes menus cost more time, so your menus then to the different weapons have to be worthwhile. They have to save you so much time to make the menu worthwhile. So yeah, that's what sort of makes the earlier games kind of nice, is you can do a lot more menuing and some pretty interesting strat finding with the different weapons.
Yeah, a lot more creative weapon use in the earlier games.
Prissy not going for top jump, playing it safe. No double hit on Crash either for Lightning, so no double hits in this race.
Prissy elects to take a hit from Top Man to sort of set himself up for the 3rd cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an intended deboost there. So he's got top spin. A lot of people don't think much of top spin, actually. They remember it being kind of annoying when they fight Shadow, because you can run out of top spin fairly easily if you stay inside Top's or Shadow's hitbox spinning. It'll drain your energy. But surprisingly, Top is actually a very good weapon. A lot of people don't actually realize, like, it'll kill a lot of enemies in one hit.
Yeah, Top one-shots every enemy that it does damage to. The enemies that it doesn't do damage to, it can drain if you aren't careful, but as long as you just know which ones it does damage to, it's not that big of a...
Lightning having some issues setting up this item 1. He finally gets up there, and he gets the zip, so has the lights back on as well. But yeah, so you're going to see Prissy going for probably a few incredibly terrifying jumps. He's going to use top spin on these prisiis because he doesn't have magnet here. So, and the reason it's scary is because when you hit an enemy with top spin, it kind of knocks you backward. So he's got 2 options here. He's got basically he has to go for really, really tight jumps, or he can do sort of like a wiggle jump, which he's not doing. He's just playing it safe here, it looks like, killing the prisiis and then jumping. So
yeah, always a smart idea to take it safer than to risk when you can see bad patterns. Ooh, it looks like Lightning's having to redo the...
Yeah, he must have taken a death, unfortunately. I wonder, did he forget to flash? I didn't see.
I saw him flash. I think he must have just put himself in a bad spot in one of the later screens. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, I missed it too. So Shadow is down. So Prissy now is going to be heading to the hardest
I see what
stage.
happened. He landed on the life platform.
Oh, okay. So this is the hardest stage of Mega Man 3 for sure. Gemini stage is very tough. So hopefully Prissy will be able to get through this stage without too much trouble. It's always a big sigh of relief to get out of this stage if you can get out of it with without any deaths and without any big time losses.
This stage can be very frightening. The first screen is actually incredibly technical and is actually a really cool watch when it's done fully right. But it's back when Gemini first was a thing, there was a lot of resets that would happen there, just because it's very difficult to do as fast as possible. Looks like you just missed the zip setup there off the egg.
Yeah, it's the only zip you're gonna see in Mega Man 3, and unfortunately, it doesn't save a lot of time, but unfortunately, the timing to get it is a little bit tighter.
You can sort of pause buffer with rush coil, or like swapping the rush coil, but it's like I think it's a 4-frame window, from what I recall.
Something like that. Whew! I think Prissy may have jumped off the last pixel of Rush's hitbox there. That was pretty scary. If he had missed Rush there, he would have just jumped right into the pit. Oof. Really mean health drop right in front of him.
Really bad health drop.
Another little one there too at the last Dragonfly. So these enemies not being nice to Prissy at the moment.
Lightning got the mini zip in metal, the micro zip.
Yeah, really nice.
The mini zip.
It saves not very much time, but a little bit. Very nice looking Gemini fight. Really good.
Very solid.
That fight is pretty good. It doesn't quite kill Gemini close to the center as some of the other fights that people have come up with, but it's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's because you can't move after a boss dies in Mega Man 3. You want to finish in the middle of the room, and you also want the boss to die in the middle of the room. The fanfare doesn't start until all the bubbles leave the screen.
Yeah. So now we enter Friedel. This stage, as Elo has so awesomely dubbed as Friedel, the stage itself, there's nothing overly really difficult going on in the stage or boss fight, but for whatever reason, it's just very difficult. And so it's very common to see runners get pretty frustrated here because the stage isn't really that hard, but it's so common to see just mistakes cost time. So we'll see how. Prissy gets the bank shot. Unfortunately, shooting that Gemini laser just a hair too early. Again, those are the kind of things, like, it's such an easy thing to, like, jump up and just accidentally fire that shot, you know, too early.
Freaking Friedel, man.
Yep, freaking Friedel.
It's a pretty good boss fight after that, though.
Yeah.
Lightning's trying to set up the Goodwood zip here. Do it. Gotta...
It's like he's playing a little bit careful where those pits are. He's got to set up the scariest part of the zip. Oh, he's got a pause buffer. Can he get to the ladder? He's got it. Okay. That's really scary.
I just caught it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be okay as long as... Ooh, he pressed A way too early. So he's not going to get past the checkpoint. He's going to have to redo Goodwood or play the stage. Looks like he's going to try to do it again. That's unfortunate because he had finished the zip. And he just hit A on accident, I guess, and killed himself too early.
Yeah, I think I feel like he was trying to hit B to get the heat charge started, but just ended up pushing it a little too soon.
Yeah. Oh, and unfortunately he doesn't get... So, what he did there is not a soft lock. He could have actually killed himself there, but I think he might have thought it was because he's resetting now to password back. He could have walked over to the left side of the screen and then sort of continued over and found another hole and killed himself, and then he would have just had to play the stage. So
yeah, play the second half of the stage.
Kind of unfortunate there, because that was not a soft lock, so he didn't need to reset. Like I said, there's actually very few soft locks in Mega Man 2. A lot of people think there are a lot. They think just because they mess a zip up that there's no way to actually recover from it, but that's not true. There's a lot of places where you can still recover and lose less time than resetting and game or passwording. It costs a lot of time to do that.
Yep.
But I mean, a lot of people don't have enough time to learn all those backups as well. So keeping that in mind, like, he may not have realized it. And so if he doesn't know that, obviously it's much better off to just quickly reset and continue on.
Yeah. Looks like he missed the mini dog zip, so he'll have to swap and kill this third dog.
Yeah. So now, do you go for it again, or do you just play the stage at this point?
Looks like he's gonna go for it again.
Yep. Ooh, gets bonked by the bat there. Should still be okay. Switching over to quick. Meanwhile, prisiii has been making decent pace through Mega Man 3. He's into hard now, so not a whole lot left here. Just a few stages. Hard, Snake, and Spark. Ooh, gets the really nice tight jump right in front of the Sniper Joe shot. That's actually very tight. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, a very small window to get that jump in.
Yeah.
Dozers, please.
Dozers with their incredibly bad hitboxes. Lightning's got it this time, so he is at the boss quarter. Kind of unfortunate there, because he did have it that one time, so...
Yeah. It looks like he's actually going to fight Woodman with air in the normal fight.
Yep, which is fine. As long as you get the double hits like that, like, that's a pretty fast fight.
Yeah,
like
it's...
the heat fight.
It's right about the same speed for the regular fight to fight him with air or heat.
Mm-hmm. prisiii taking an intentional damage boost there to get rid of the stun effect from Hardman crushing the ground or shaking the ground. So he wants to take a hit on purpose to get knocked out of that stun animation so that he can keep shooting Hardman.
Yeah, unlike Gutsman, who only stuns you if you're on the ground, Hardman actually freezes the whole screen no matter where you are, so you gotta take that D-boost in order to free your movement up again to keep hitting him.
Yeah.
Cut out the Snack Man.
Off to the snack. My favorite stage.
Best stage in Game 3.
Yeah, it's my favorite song.
Oh! Lightning does the B-trigger a little bit too early.
So there's the, yeah, that's the real danger of doing the B trigger. If you hit it too early, you do what Potdot was saying, you zip too low, and you hit right into that spike. So gets it the second time though. He's not afraid to go for that. That's
not afraid. That's actually the frame perfect zip there.
And that was on his last life too, so that was incredibly scary. Still not out of the stage yet, but yeah, that was really impressive. Oh, no gap jump for prisiii.
Drops from the last frogs.
Yeah. Yeah, last race we saw one of the runners kill, I think it was the birds and airman, and all the 4 birds that they killed dropped 4 large health refills. It was pretty standard MM2 normal.
Yep.
Bubbles down, so Lightning is through Mega Man 2 and firing up Mega Man 3.
Now I get to find out what route he's deciding to opt for.
I'm gonna guess Magnet. I'm gonna guess Magnet.
Yep, Magnet is.
Yep, there it is. So Magnet first, again, like I said last race, I think it's the best choice for a race. It's the safest route, most consistent route. You deal with a little bit of RNG with the Magnet fight, and you have to do the Yoku blocks, which kind of sucks, but it really is the safest, most consistent one, I think, out of the 3 choices.
Yeah. I definitely would agree with that.
Some may say Magnet is the past, but I still say Magnet is the present.
No longer the future, though.
No longer the future. It has arrived. I definitely feel that now nowadays you do see probably I'd say it's even higher than a 50-50 split. Like, I'd say you probably see like at least 60% of runners play Magnet first at this point.
Yeah.
And then you've got the odd people who still kind of stick to Gemini first because they can't let go. And and then you have the few people who are crazy enough to go top first. So,
yep.
Like, I honestly feel that this is a really good route, and I think this route is here to stay. Ooh, Lightning having some issues with these Yoku blocks. Can't seem to get up on top of that second row. Oh, the Magnet pulls him off.
Forward.
Yeah. There he goes. Ooh, has to be careful now.
Ooh,
has to be careful. Okay. Still okay yet. There he goes.
Hey,
Playing it a little risky, landing on every single one of these Yokus, but he is through. Meanwhile, Prisii's been flying through Spark Stage. He's in the last room already. Gotta be careful in these elevators to not accidentally slide on one.
Yeah, that last screen can be fairly tricky if you slide at the wrong time on one of those platforms. Then you just end up falling to your death.
Yeah. And Spark is down, so Prisii's done with Mega Man 3 and off to Mega Man 4.
Selecting to do the bright first route.
Yep, good choice. Ooh, health is looking a little low now for Lightning. He's gotta be careful on Magnet here.
Oh, he almost walked in.
Jumps are almost more ideal at this point because he doesn't have the health to deboost like here.
Yeah.
But he is gonna get that kill before he gets that another jump right at the end. So any fight you don't die from.
Yeah. It's a good fight.
Yep. He's done with Magnet. Prisii coming into Bright. There's not a whole lot going on in Brightman stage, to be honest. The grasshoppers are the biggest gimmick of this stage. They have 2 different patterns. You can get the high jump, which is what you see Prisii getting there. And then they can get the low jump, which you saw one of the grasshoppers doing there too. This is a high jump here. There's a low jump. So obviously, usually you want the high jumps from the grasshoppers because they cover more distance faster and allow you to get to the next grasshopper usually a little bit sooner.
Lightning doing some B despawns.
Yeah, it's a good starter strat for the stage. I used to do that as well. So he gets the clip, platform clip here in Bright. All you literally do there is hold right. It's pretty straightforward.
Yep. Just clips you right up onto the next one.
Yeah. Nice little bonus. Lightning having some issues killing this monkey. He's just hanging out on the ceiling here. He does get him. Takes a deboost on the second one. Ooh, Coil just barely beats the monkey. Prisii going through his Brightman fight again. Just like I mentioned last race, they need to avoid those specific HP values, 16, 8, and 4. And so Prisii making that fight, doing that fight in a very specific way so that Brightman's HP never hits those values, and that way he never ever flashes him to freeze him.
Yeah, getting frozen is fairly dangerous. you can't really control what he does after that, and if he does a jump, he'll jump to your position. And getting bodied in Mega Man 4 is really painful.
Yeah, if you get frozen, you're basically hoping for a bullet to hit you usually, because body hits are so scary. 8 damage from almost every single Robot Master in this game. Pharaoh's the only one that doesn't deal 8 damage, he only deals 4, so he's like the one nice little break that you get. But usually the bosses are very unforgiving.
Is he over to the balloon gap? Makes it over?
Yeah.
Using Bright on that screen does make that quite a bit easier.
Yeah, freezes that fly, prevents him from being able to shoot you, in case your movement wasn't good enough to make it. And lightning gets hard, man, so 2 robots down in Mega Man 3.
Frizzy with some good jumps on those clown floating platforms. Prevents them from shooting, reduces a little bit of lag there.
Yeah, even just that one screen there, if you can prevent them all from shooting bullets, you save a full second, so it's pretty crazy how much time you can lose to just some little bit of a lag reduction if you don't do it.
Yeah, Mega Man 3 and 4, the 2 laggier games of the series.
Yeah.
Lag reduction strats being fairly important for both of them.
Yeah, I think 3, like, I don't know exactly what it was with 3 that just made it really laggy, but 4, I think it came down to they didn't really think about the Charge Buster a whole lot, I don't think, and how much it was going to affect the game. Because you create a lot of lag by charging your Buster in 4, so there's a lot of times where you're better off to just mash instead of actually use the charge. Except in boss fights. Mashing is obviously much slower because they made the invincibility frames for bosses a lot longer from the transition from 3 to 4.
Yeah, and they sort of kept that trend, the boss iframe length, from 4 through the end of the series.
Yeah, like 5, I guess, would be the last game where they're short until 9, right?
Yeah. I mean, 5s are still fairly... They're on the longer side. They're longer than
when you
3s.
compare them to 3, yeah, for sure. Lightning grabbing this health here. I'm not so sure he really needs it, because Top doesn't really deal that much damage. Well, I mean, unless you get bodied, I guess. Could be a good solution for that.
Yeah.
But Tops only deal 4 damage, so they're not too critical. Christy having some issues with his balloon jump here, but he finally does get by the turrets. Turrets putting a lot of bullets on screen. That actually makes that strat really difficult. Once there's a lot of lag from all the different bullets, it's really hard to time your jump off of the balloon.
Lightning manages to avoid using the E-Tank just prior to Top Man. The menu in Mega Man 3 is really fast, but it's also a little unintuitive if you're not used to it. You'd think that from Buster, if you hit right, you go over to Hard Knuckle, but that actually ends up taking you to your E-Tank.
Yep.
So there's a lot of times where a runner might accidentally use their E-Tank trying to swap the Hard Knuckle there.
You know, the best part is not only do you hit right and use your E-Tank usually on accident, but then you hit left, it takes you back to Buster.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even get you to where you want to go no matter what. You have to press down to get over to Hard Knuckle there.
Silly menu.
And yeah, as unintuitive as that menu is in Mega Man 3, like, I definitely gotta say, the Mega Man 3 menu is probably the best. Once you know how it works, it's so fast. It's
very fast.
It's very good for
when you're learning it, it's very unintuitive.
Yeah, it is. Let's see if Prissy can get the ring man. He gets the 2 double hits. Very nice fight. Damageless. Which he had to do because he only had 4 health, so he couldn't take any hits from ring, body, or projectile. It's a really good looking fight when done well because Ringman takes 6 damage from a fully charged Pharaoh Shot, and since you get the glitch effect from Pharaoh Shot, if you use the charge above your head to your advantage, if you don't let go of B when you hit something with it, you can still get another full charge by releasing B. So you get 2 charge shots for the price of 1. And because of how much damage Pharaoh Shot does to Ringman, you essentially kill him. Instead of having to charge 5 charge shots, you kill him in the same amount of time that it would only take to charge 3. So the fight is very, very fast. And there's no randomness in that fight, so it will happen the same way every single time. So that's another really nice thing.
Yep. Lightning taking the final segment of Shadow here on the safe side, which is pretty good. Pretty smart, actually.
I thought he was going to bring that shoe along with him for the whole screen there.
Yeah.
It jumped along with him for a few times, but eventually he outran it. Into Shadow. He's got to be careful again to make sure he doesn't drain too much top. It looks like he's fine.
All you have to do is tap B.
That's what I've heard. Ooh, had to be a little bit careful there.
Ben used to make it through.
In position to get that ring, and that's why he wasn't able to actually get all the way through. He got stuck sort of in the middle of those 4 blocks, but avoids the death, which is the important part.
Manages to get his slide underneath the low stomp of the Stomper.
Yeah, that's actually pretty tight. It's mostly dependent on where you start your slide, because you want to come out of your 1 slide right in front of the Stomper so that you get a full slide underneath him. It doesn't really require like frame perfect movement, but as long as your slide starts in a very, very specific spot, you'll be okay. And gets a very good pattern from Dust. The all jump pattern, that's the best pattern. Kills Dust right in the middle of the room, and that's what you're looking for. So it is worth noting, like some of the people sort of alluding, like wanting Prissy to almost slow down. Prissy really doesn't want to do that actually, because when the bracket, the single elimination bracket, the top 2 runners from every pool will move on to the bracket round, and they get seeded based on their race times. So Prissy does want to do as well as he can.
Lightning just misses the.
He can get seeded better.
Just misses the proto skip.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate there. It costs quite a bit of time because you gotta wait for Proto Man to blow up the platform, and then.
Then you have the music on, which is really laggy for the rest of the stage, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's kind of weird where the music is actually a contributor to the lag.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. Like when you go into like Gemini stage and you see one that's done with the music and one that's done without, you can literally see like seconds lost to the guy that's got the music. Like it's not even close to the same. Like it's a major time loss to get the music when you're running at like a pace that's like, let's say, on fastest level, or even somebody who's just on like 35 pace type level for runs. Like you see like a definite 3-ish second time loss, I would say, with the music. And usually people do it even slower because they're not practiced with the music, so they play it even more safe. So here, Lightning's into the scariest room of Gemini. Prissy, fighting Skullman, gets a very good pattern, actually. A very, very short skull shield.
Skull shield?
So that was very lucky.
For a moment, I thought Lightning was about to swap to the Rush Marine strats.
Mm-hmm.
Opts just stay on Rush Coil.
It's like he's home free here, so that's good. I mean, getting through that room without dying, that's pretty important. Gets the 2 buffer shots off and over the Stomper, very nice. So Prissy's on to Dive Man. He's using Flash Stopper. Flash Stopper is a pretty heavily used and abused weapon in this run. Flash Stopper, as you can tell, it freezes enemies in place so they can't move, and it lasts for about 5 seconds, so it's a pretty useful weapon for going through screens quickly and keeping enemies out of your way. The other bonus of it is when you slide, the timer that counts down... Ooh, that's a short jump. The timer that counts down when you flash stops when you slide, so if you're constantly sliding and chaining your slides together well, you can essentially make a flash last for an entire screen if it's a short enough screen, that is. So,
he's gonna have to plan. He's gonna have to plan the rest of his bright uses out.
Yeah,
you want to have them for the whales.
At this point, he's gonna have to do an extra menu. I think the better choice probably would have been to Buster the first whale. Just play Buster all the way up until the checkpoint room, and maybe even then stay on Buster. Just because the menu to Bright here I don't think is going to save him enough time. But it's hard to react on the fly if you haven't done a lot of backup strats for a game, too.
Yeah.
So he's staying on Bright, so I guess he's going to try to do this screen without flashing as well, which...
Nope, he's gonna...
Oh, no, he's going to.
He's gonna have to swap for the whale.
Will we see a balloon? Will we see Buster? What will we see? Oh, we're gonna get Buster. Alright.
Buster.
You can actually balloon over the whales. It's kind of funny. We saw Primal do it, actually. I don't know if he did it in all of his runs, but he definitely did it in his first one that I got to see.
Oh, he's kind of low.
So, Prissii's gonna have to be very careful here. He's got well, I mean, realistically, you shouldn't get hit in the Dive Man fight, but, I mean, even a missile will kill him, so he's got to be careful. He's gonna have to do this fight damageless. If he doesn't, he'll be low on Skull, which means he'll have to kill Dive with instead. So here we go. Kind of got his first hit a little slow, so he's not going to get the fifth hit in here. Oh, he doesn't jump high enough. Okay, so yeah. Prissii's best option here is to use Dust in this second attempt to fight Dive Man.
We also saw a Nadua laser from Lightning over on the other side. Used an E-Tank, managed to finish off Needleman.
So Dust is a really good weakness actually for Dive because it deals 3 damage. It's like a full charged shot. And not only that, if you stay really close to him, like you saw there, Prissii was staying really close to Dive. You want to do that with Dust because when Dust hits a target, it breaks apart. So even if a missile is shot at you, you can shoot the missile, it will destroy the missile, and then break apart and still hit Dive Man behind him without needing to shoot a second shot. So there's actually some pretty cool strats you can use by manipulating the dust shots to your advantage that way.
Yeah, and staying close to Dive Man ensures that he only fires 1 missile between his 3 drill patterns.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Lightning's gonna get bonked by these guys. They're giving him some issues here at this ladder. They're just sort of jumping around and haunting him. Looked like he wanted to maybe switch to Jet here, but then realized he might get hit again, so he changed his mind. Here comes the change.
Hit by the snake.
Yeah, our last sort of snack stage before the end of the night.
And he's gonna opt to go up and collect the health.
A couple frame drops there from Prissii, but look, he froze right over a pit, and I was like, did he collect a health? Is he gonna fall on the spikes? But just a few frame drops. So Prissii only has enough Flash Stopper at the moment to get through this last screen with 1 flash, but I think his strat here is to freeze and change to missile early, so we won't see, probably won't see a 1 flash anyway. Ooh, again, some scary frame drops, so it's hard to know what's going on.
I had some frame drops there where I couldn't see.
He's getting a lot of extra lag there, unfortunately, with missing the missiles, so... Alright, so we're into the heaviest RNG boss of this category. So see what Drillman decides to do. Getting a pretty nice pattern so far.
Very nice.
Very nice. So no dives. Well, should be no dives unless he messes up. But yeah, it's good. The only downside with that pattern is Drillman dies in the corner, which is kind of a slow kill location, but still, no dives is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And Lightning is all the way to the boss door for Snake, so he should be almost
fighting
on his
Snack
last
Man.
stage. Doesn't get the best pattern, but he gets an okay-ish pattern. Oh, please get that last hit. There it is. So one more stage for him to go, and then he'll be off to Mega Man 4.
So Prizzy's about one full game ahead at this point.
About, yep.
Then
I hope you're all proud of me for actually saying about.
Calling the resident Canadian.
Yeah, you know. Can't all be boots.
And we get to see, again, the power of Flash Stopper.
Yeah.
Yo, nice triple MM5 reference.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how high of a drop rate Mega Man 4's 1-up rate actually is, because everybody notices it in Mega Man 5 because you kill so many enemies in Mega Man 5. But 4 and 5 actually share a very, very similar drop rate to 1-ups. You just don't see as many in 4 because you don't kill as many enemies. So it's not as obvious. But, I mean, right there, that screen showing you that, I mean, that's where you see sometimes just that drop rate is just as high as 5. I've had screens of Pharaoh like that where I've gotten like 3 or 4 1-ups in a row. And it's just like, well, I mean, there you go.
Lightning opting, use Rush Jet over the floating platforms, I guess, in Spark. Rising platforms, I guess. That is
Yeah, the little elevator platforms. Toad is down, so Prissy's finished with Mega Man 4. He's off to his main game, Mega Man 5. This is where you sort of usually expect to see Prissy do really well.
Starting off with Star, the only real route in MM5.
Yeah, this road is really set in stone. You can't really change it because you need to get Super Arrow really quickly. And Super Arrow gets used in every other stage to go faster, so it's really important that you start here. Lightning's into the Spark fight. Doesn't really get a great pattern, but shouldn't make too much of a difference as Spark goes down pretty fast, so 3 games done for Lightning. He's off to 4. Item drops are based on the frame an enemy dies, so no, you can't manipulate them. Yeah, Task can, obviously, because they can essentially kill an enemy on the exact frame they want, but as a person, no, you cannot.
Not as a human racer.
Correct. So seeing another, bright first, unfortunately slipping just off that edge. Looked like he tried to stop just in time to play it safe, and just about a frame or two too late. Prissy missed a couple charge shots or not there, I'm not sure.
Like he was trying to do a back deboost off of the final enemies in that screen, and it's actually really dangerous to do that. Your window is really small.
Yeah, the jump is really far, so you don't have a, like Pothot said, you don't have a very big window to actually back deboost there. You're better off to just like wait like that and kill him. So Prissy's off to Gravity. He's got his Super Arrow now, so you will see a lot of flying along with the arrow.
A lot of arrows.
Yeah. You notice Prissy sort of running off the edge of the arrow there. That's actually on purpose, because as you sort of fall off of the arrow and the arrow picks you back up, you actually save a little bit of ammunition. It's very similar to how like Jet works in Mega Man 3, where you jump off of him, you don't use ammo. So if you're not standing on the arrow, you can save a little bit there, and so that's why Prissy sometimes you see him running off the edge. Getting a very nice gravity stage with all those arrow strats. That was really good.
Yeah. Just the final screen left here? Or the final, like, movement to face?
You didn't get the letter, guys. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It literally costs you no time to get that letter, and he didn't grab it. I feel like that's one that you would always just get anyway.
Yeah, just collect a letter because you can?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need the letters, so because we don't need beat for this. That's why we just skip them in this category.
Lightning going into the Buster Bright fight, hoping for not as many jumps. Staying farther away.
And to make sure that
does Bright also work like some of the other bosses where you manipulate his AI by staying close?
He does. So Brightman, he is random, just like Pharaoh and Dust. Like, he will do his own thing, but when you're further away from him, you're more likely to get a shoot pattern. Oh! And when you're closer to him, he'll more likely jump. There you're seeing a flash there, so unfortunately, he's gonna get another one right here, actually. Which is really bad, because he's getting a jump, and yeah, that's showing you why you have to pay attention how much damage you're dealing to Brightman, and that's a game over. He's gonna have to go back and replay the stage again. It's super important to know how much HP Brightman is at so you can avoid getting flashed. That is not a random thing. You completely control how or when you will get flashed from Brightman, so really unfortunate there. You gotta avoid those HP values. But yeah, he was kind of unfortunate. He shot him after he had 8 HP. He shot him with a single lemon, and then he did a charge shot, which dropped him from 8 to 4. So the other, the last flash value again. So
he might have been hoping that he could get the last hit in before the flash, but
maybe. But you really, yeah, it's a pretty tight window to do that.
It's better to be safe there than to try to get in a risky hit.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, you're better off to just charge there anyway, because then you can get the free 1 hit when he's got 1 HP left in the end anyway. Or 2 HP, I guess. Proceeds through Gyro, Fast at CC's favorite stage of Mega Man 5. I hear that he practices it actually just for fun sometimes.
Yeah, right?
Because he likes it a lot.
He's getting an optimal middle of the room kill. Not really, but
yeah, Mega Man 5 and 6, you definitely don't want to.
Yeah, unlike 3 and 4, you want to kill bosses in the corner in Mega Man 5 and 6.
Exactly.
Because the fanfare is at a set interval as opposed to when the
I don't think Lightning expected that platform to leave without him, but he just barely touched it, and so away it went. Bright is a pretty unforgiving stage until you properly learn a lot of the strats here. Some of the movement is a lot easier if you actually just learn the speed strats. It's kind of interesting. Especially that last room.
Yeah. Is he setting up for the warp?
Crystal warp. We've seen everybody get it here so far, and he goes for the 1 arrow setup. Very nice. Nails it. That saves a little bit more time. The easy setup that Baron came up with for everybody saves about 9 seconds. That one probably saves you maybe about 10.5, maybe.
Yeah, probably around that range. Depending on the speed of your 3 arrow versus 1 arrow setup.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And he got it first try, so definitely would have saved a decent amount of time. There are some shorter stages in Mega Man 5. But there's definitely some longer ones. Like Stone is a really long stage. Wave has the auto scroller, so obviously it's longer. So they're not all short, that's for sure. So you see, because he's standing so far away from Bright, he's getting a lot of shot patterns.
He fired
sort of that same thing.
lemons into him, so he's gonna
He
have
did,
to
so he will get flashed here, right there. His HP value now should be... Ooh, he's gotta be careful here. He's gonna get another flash!
Ooh.
And there it is, another death.
Is that another game over?
I hope not. Nope, last
No,
life.
he's got one last life.
So important to not improvise this fight. Like, you want to shoot the right amount of shots to manipulate Brightman's health so that you do not get flashed. Like, you should never ever get flashed here. Just like in Centaur, you should never get flashed.
Fireman, there we go.
So he's at the right HP value right now. All he wants to do now is just charge shots, which so far he's okay with. He hasn't made any more mistakes yet. Should be okay as long as he can keep dodging. Okay, he's past the flash
Alright.
indicators there, so yeah, he's good. So Bright is down for him. Meanwhile, Crystal was finished by Prissy, so he's into Napalm now.
Napalm actually has a few pretty interesting screens. We'll see if he does the crystal. Nope, he's gonna go for the gravity.
Yeah, it's very few people that actually do the crystal strats. I know Fast and I were actually talking about this last night. I think there's only maybe like 2 or 3 people that actually do the crystal strats.
Yeah, it's really hard to manage to save time with the crystal strats.
Mhm.
Most of the time, you're gonna end up losing time with it.
Yeah. Yeah, at best you probably usually just break even most of the time. I think a lot of it has to do with killing the stomper enemy kind of guy. Like, don't shoot any shots into his iframes and time your shots really well. This is looking like a very, very nice napalm fight from Prissy. Very well executed.
Very nice stage overall as well.
Lightning's got the balloon, and he is headed to the second half of Pharaoh stage. The one downside, I guess you could say, with Mega Man 4's opening stages is, ooh, there's another death. Bright and Pharaoh kind of have a lot of waiting. Like, you have these platforms here, you have the grasshoppers in Bright. So I know, like, some people like to mention that about how they find that grinding the opening part of the game, it can be a little tiresome because of that, but as long as you can get over that fact, it's actually a pretty fun speedrun. There's a lot of things in 4 that I think the movement based on why, you know, Bright Stopper works, or Flash Stopper I should say, and Pharaoh shots glitch and things like that, and the balloons make the run really interesting.
So he game overed. I don't think he realized that going for the balloon, even though you already have it, is still faster than going through...
Not really, no. That's not true.
That's not true anymore?
No, that's something that somebody said once that a lot of people believe, but it's not really true.
So going the regular way is
Going
faster.
the regular way. Going the regular way is they're like equal. Like almost to the frame, they're almost equal.
I did not know that.
Yep. The one downside of doing it the way he did it, though, obviously, is since he menued to Flash Stopper, it was going to cost him an extra menu here because you can't use it in this section, because if you freeze in here, these platforms you ride also freeze, and you need them to move, so you need to be on Buster. So if you are going to miss it, you don't want to be on Flash Stopper, which if you did Bright first, you will be. So in that regard, you will lose time to it, because it costs you an extra menu. But if you do Pharaoh first and you miss it, it doesn't cost you any time. The time loss comes to not having the balloon. Prissy's done with Stone. He's only got 2 more stages to go in Mega Man 5 before he's off to the last stage.
Coming up on charge. Let's see if he has a. Did he dedicate it to anyone?
I hope so. We saw a dedication in the last run. So we'll see if somebody in this race does a dedication. They better, because it's notorious that when you do not dedicate your chicken room, you have a terrible run. So. Ooh, Prissy wanted Pharaoh to like jump back to the middle there, but then realized it was probably going to be slower to do that than to actually go kill him. And then unfortunately he missed his buster shot, so got a little bit of extra time lost there, but not too bad.
Alright, here's the chicken.
He did unfortunately end up killing him in the corner anyway, which was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, here we go. Getting some lag or frame drops here, unfortunately, so we're missing some of it. But this is definitely the most fun room in Mega Man 5. I think it's super cool stage room. I think.
Yeah, the stage is really good. The music's really good.
The arrows are fun. How you just sort of fly over these long train sections. And then, honestly, if you see the actual Charge Man fight done correctly, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a really cool fight. So we see, even though he has the balloon, Lightning's just opting to use Flash Stopper here. That's not even a bad option. Like, you can see the difference between here and when you saw the last race, Zerg was trying to do that room with Buster. Flash Stopper freezes the turrets, so it just makes them super easy to get by. Charge is down with the most OP weapon in Mega Man 5, Power Stone, taking him out.
1-800 Power Stone. He did manage to get one of the triple hits, so he didn't have to pause for one of the to cancel out one of the stone hits. But then he got a bad pattern from Charge where he charged at him, so he had to end up pausing out anyway.
Yeah. So, ring stage is usually pretty scary for newer runners because you usually deboost a lot through a lot of the mini bosses, so you take a lot of damage. Since he used Flash Stopper in the first half, he actually avoided at least one, if not maybe even a couple deboosts, depending on how lucky he would have been. So he's got more HP here than he normally would if he had done the balloon strats. So that's another nice little bonus of using the Flash Stopper strats in Ring. So you do save some health, which is pretty nice. He's gonna have to go pretty fast here. His Flash Stopper is wearing off, so he can't kill the Saturn because he's out. He's just gonna switch to Pharaoh, which he needs to kill Ringman anyway, which is a good choice here. Smart thinking.
Prissy having a pretty good wave, gets the bubbles, and he's past the boat. The boat of shame.
So, probably not going to see too many like double hits here. You actually saw he could have got one there if he hadn't let go of B when he slid there. But he's going to E-tank. That's probably a wise choice. This is a tough fight, especially for, again, new runners. You're better off to just get through it more than anything else.
Yeah.
Just one little hit to go, and he gets it from the charge above his head, so
yeah.
Nice Ringman just sort of walking into him to kill himself. So Ring is down. It's a good stage to always get through.
Yeah.
Even in a normal speedrun setting, when you're going for a really fast time, that fight can be very intimidating.
Yeah, using your health as a resource to get through the stage fast leaves you very vulnerable to Ring, so always good to get through and pass the fight.
Yeah, skipping the boat is a little bit faster. Baron was telling me actually the other night, he was saying initially that it was about 1 second faster, but now he thinks it's about 3 seconds faster. And I don't know if that's due to the lag reduction that's happening going off screen as well, like part of the autoscroller, like I'm sure it's all combined into that. Ooh. Prissy's health pretty low, but he does get wave down before running out, so he's off to the final game, Mega Man 6. And on fairly reasonable pace here. Like, I'd say this is easily 145 pace still.
Gotta be careful about that jump there from lightning. Freezing that ladybug enemy. Be dangerous if you don't go fast to get by him.
Yeah. That's the leggiest room in the game too, so it's kind of a scary screen to go through sometimes. Lightning actually can kill those shield enemies from the front with Buster. I don't know if he knows that. Flash Stopper is kind of nice in that after you flash the screen, your Buster shots can deal damage to enemies that normally can't take damage, like in certain spots. So like the shield enemies you can shoot from the front. The enemies in Skull that have like the invulnerable back piece, you can kill them as well. So it's kind of interesting how you can use that weapon a little bit to your advantage in that way as well. But yeah, this screen is pretty terrible to play through, even with the speed strats, so getting through it at all just is more of a finally kind of feeling.
Is he just making his way through wind here? Fairly solid.
Yeah, wind is a pretty straightforward stage. There's not really a whole lot to do. You just need to, like, there's a few things you need to do in the stage, and as long as you do them, you're pretty much guaranteed to get out of the stage with a half-decent time. No wind dance from Prissy.
No wind dance.
But it's not a huge time save. It's a little. It does save you a little bit, but it's not going to be too much of a big deal for him in this regard. Like with a category this long.
Yeah, and if you're not used to doing the wind dance, it wouldn't save any time at all because you have to know that you can fire your shot early. Yeah,
you have to like know that and sort of plan your last cancel in a way that you are ready to release it to when Windman is also like ready. So like. If you don't do the wind dance optimally, you're probably actually losing time doing it, which is why, like for like me in particular, like I stopped trying to do it because I wasn't actually saving time with it. Ooh, Lightning's gotta be careful.
Sucking.
He doesn't want to run out of ammo there, so that's good. He actually had enough health; he could have deboosted there, but I guess he wanted to play it safe.
Is he into flame? The best speed stage in Mega Man 6.
Yeah, this is really the best, like he said, the best stage in this game. Like when it comes for the 8 robots for sure. It's so fun. The sliding and everything feels so good with all the Buster shots and the enemies you kill, especially in the second half of the stage. Everything flows very nicely.
Nice first half of the stage from prisiii.
The big difference now, obviously, you see Prissy here turning a lot at some of these edges. That's because he has to cancel his slide now before he can jump. So you're going to see that a lot. The movement sort of looks interesting because he does these sort of like almost like little wiggle twirls in the air to cancel. Oh, these flamethrowers just giving him a hard time here, but finally gets around that last one there. Oh my goodness.
They got sniped out of the air and had to play a little safer.
Roland was also nice. He didn't snipe him, so that was kind of nice too.
prisiii told me that he actually plans on stopping just prior to Roland and waiting out for the fast
So he
bullet.
waits for the bullet.
Yeah, he waits for if the bullet would go by.
That's a shame.
Very much so.
Imagine sacrificing speed to go slower. On purpose.
Bad deal.
But Flame is down for prissii, so he's got 6 more stages to go here. Meanwhile, we're seeing Lightning actually going through Skull stage here. He's not using Flash Stopper here, which is a lot faster, being able to keep these enemies out of your way.
Probably using Balloon for the scary jumps here at the end. There's a couple of really frightening jumps, actually.
But you can see how much more laggy, unfortunately, these rooms are.
Ooh,
He didn't jump. And that's really unfortunate. If he had slid off that edge, actually, he would have been fine too. But he walked off of it, and so he fell down that small gap. Again, he's going with Buster Strats, so it's going to take him a little bit of time to get through this section, longer than if he was using Flash Stopper. Ooh, getting stuck on the balloon there. Has to go backwards to go forward. So yeah, that jump there, you see him using the balloon there. That's the one that's usually getting people. But these rest of these ones here, he's better off to just change to even dust. Just menu to dust here and knock the Joes over with dust. It's a much better option.
prisiii elects to not go over Margin Pit. And he's gonna take the first safety spot of Shade.
That's a interesting decision, but I mean, if he feels like he wasn't gonna make it to the second one, I mean, it's the way to go, I guess.
Yeah.
Skull giving Lightning a pretty bad pattern. This is a really long shield. Unlucky. Psyching him out though, thank goodness he had a lot of health, because Skull jumped into him a couple times.
Yeah, Skull's another one of those fights that's totally manipulatable. If you don't know what you're doing, you can manipulate him to do the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, he could end up either jumping into you or shooting you when you're not expecting it.
Ooh, prissii getting a very nice opening pattern from Blizzard. We'll see how lucky he gets.
He mashed his flames into
his flames! prissii.
prisiii.
Still lucky enough to get one roll though. That's amazing. Even after that mistake, you gotta focus, dude. There's no mashing in this. You gotta time your shots here.
If you're low on flame, you gotta know. You gotta feel out when those when the iframes are gonna run out.
Yeah, that's something you definitely don't want to do. Like, he got lucky, like I said there. Like, Blizzard is one of those few fights you don't want to mess up, because it's sort of like Drill Man. You don't want to get extra rolls. Every time he rolls, you can't hit him, so it's costing you at least a second and a half, depending on which way he's rolling. Could be worse.
Interesting cancel shots there.
Prissii's into plant now, though. I think it's the hardest of the 8 robot stages, especially if you go for the plant forms at the end, which I don't know if Prissii's gonna go for.
I believe he will.
He definitely can do them, so it's just a matter of if he's comfortable enough doing it in a race setting. But the plant forms are kind of tricky. They don't give you a lot of time to jump off of them without them before they kick you off, I guess I should say. So if he does go for them, he's going to have a very short window to get his jumps off.
He gets the one jump second gorilla, the easy one, easy every time.
That's the hard one.
No, that one's the easy one.
So Prissii's actually low on flame here.
Very low on flame, so he's gonna have to swap back.
Yeah, he's gonna actually have to swap, so he's not gonna be able to do the plant forms. You need
to
to have,
do
yeah. You need to have. That was actually kind of close. You need to have at least, what is it, 3 or 4? I guess 4, I think, to do the rest of that with flame. So he had to menu and change to Buster, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Can he get 6 hits? This is important.
Dreamer.
Ooh, very scary fight here from Lightning. He has just enough skull to make sure he can protect himself. Gets the left jump. He does get the walk.
Oh,
I
Streamer!
think he's not gonna get it. He got only 4 hits, dude.
When
Man.
is hit cycle?
Oh, that's brutal. Jumping on the left wall, which actually does nothing in this
Does
game.
literally nothing.
There's a weird thing in this game where, for whatever reason, if you jump against the right wall, you will reduce some lag. It'll despawn some of the boss sprites, but left wall doesn't do anything. So, yeah. That fight is definitely pretty awkward when you have to do it the normal way, where Plant is always putting his shield up. But yeah, like if you stand in the middle of his hitbox, sort of like you saw Prissy do, he gets kind of confused and he just sort of walks back and forth, and that leaves him wide open for multiple hits. But unfortunately, Prissy wasn't able to get more than 4. Kind of unfortunate, because you want to capitalize as many times as you can.
It's Plantman and the other bosses that walk or have a walk animation. They walk to your position. And so, like, when you are in the middle of their hitbox, it actually confuses them to the point where they don't know where you are relative to them. So they end up doing a max distance run cycle. And it works with all the bosses that have a run animation, so it would work with Knight and Blizzard as well. It's just that with Plant, you can guarantee that he'll do a run pattern next. That's the only one that we're able to do at RTA.
Right. Yeah, and then, like he said, it only works with the ones that can run, so like Tomahawk and Flame, you can't do it on because they don't have walk patterns, they only jump.
Yeah, they only have the jump pattern.
Ooh, Lightning taking a hit here. His health is kind of low here. I don't know if he's got an E-tank for drill, so this could be a kind of a scary fight. Let's see how it goes.
That last jump and drill scares me every single time. Someone doesn't slide off the edge. Looked like he was debating whether or not to use his E-tank.
Okay, he does have one, which, if he's gonna use it, he better use it if he thinks he's gonna get bodied, because if he hits bodied, he's gonna die. He can take 1 projectile hit, it looks like he's got 6 or 7. Alright, he's just gonna E-tank now. That's probably a good choice. So, Tomahawk is down, so 3 stages to go for Prissy. On the home stretch now. Getting a few more dives than you prefer, unfortunately, but it's just how it goes sometimes. Drill is down though.
Manages to finish him off. Prissy and the Yamato. Yamato's not an overly difficult stage. The first room can be kind of frightening. Trying to do it as fast as possible, but then the rest of the stage is fairly safe.
Yeah, like, if you want to go for that one raid in there, it could be kind of risky, but I see a lot of people just cancel that early just because they don't want to risk it, which is probably a good choice. You get to kill the really, really easy walker in Mega Man 6 as opposed to Mega Man 5's, which is impossible to kill.
Yeah, the MM6 walker, you can hit him anywhere, as opposed to the 5, you can only hit him in the eye.
Yeah, and he has iframes. So it's terrible.
Also, shout out to Ice Plug and his lyrics for Yamato Man that have disappeared to time.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever mentioned. Have we mentioned his lyrics yet in the tournament?
I haven't heard you mention them yet.
Yeah, well, I don't have audio, so like it's hard to really, like, sing along, so it doesn't really help.
I have audio.
Lightning. So Lightning's flash stopper unfortunately wore off right at it's just one of the worst times, and that enemy dropped right down on him as he was jumping across that pit. So game over's not too big of a deal because he was going to respawn back at the beginning of the stage anyway. But
yeah, and now he has full bright stopper again, so it's probably better. to get a game over there.
Yeah, refilling your weapon energy is always kind of a nice little consolation prize for game overs. But Yamato's down, so 2 stages to go for Prissy. Knight and then Centaur. Assuming that he menus correctly. Like I mentioned too, like you notice like with Flash Stopper's issue, because it relies a lot on your movement being good to make Flash Stopper last longer, you notice that Lightning has to flash a lot more because he's not sliding very much. So his Flash Stopper isn't lasting very long. And that's the downside. Like, the speedrun really benefits from if you can have really good movement and a lot of really good slide chains, you basically make one flash last a very long time.
Is he,
So Flash Stopper,
goes for the small hop?
Yeah, he's gonna have to fight this second snail.
Opts to use ring on it.
Yeah, Pharaoh is the best weapon to use here, because it kills him really quickly, but ring isn't a bad choice, it's still fine. The other really good option, obviously, unfortunately, would be Flash Stopper, but since you're out of it, you can't skip the whale. It's actually a good weapon, though, to kill him with, too, because you can freeze his eyes open, so it's kind of funny how that works. Using balloons for the last screen, interesting. It's a slower strat, but you do keep yourself away from the fish and the spikes, typically, so it's a little bit safe. Percy coming into the night checkpoint room. Doesn't quite wait long enough for that bullet. Gets sniped out of midair.
I think he's gonna have to fire another shot to get his spheres in the right order for the Mad Nerd room.
Yeah, I don't know if he noticed, so he might not be getting these Mad Nerds.
Oh. He's doing it a slower way, it looks like.
Yeah, playing it a little bit safer.
Had the one Mad Nerd chasing after him, but to avoid getting hit.
Lightning is off to Mega Man 5, so he's finished 4 games. 2 to go. So Knight can be kind of a jerk if he wants to be. He can be, as Baron likes to call him, Sir Jumpington. But ideally we want Knight to stay grounded, so the jump patterns we don't want to see. We want him to walk, we want him to throw his Night Ball. Those are sort of the ideal scenarios here. And he got a couple jumps there, but that's not even that terrible of a pattern.
First one was a low jump at least.
Yeah, he could have hit him with that.
The real high jump.
The high jumps are the worst. I think my PB actually has all jumps, and I think most of them were high jumps too. Kind of a sad day.
Lightning using some D-boost to its advantage to get past the spikes.
So there is a large health refill, but it's still 2 screens ahead after these turrets and after the walker. So he's got to get through these screens here, which is a little scary. He's going to have to drop down to kill this guy. And that will hopefully allow him to get through this room. Meanwhile, Prissy's into Centaur, his final stage. Is he going to get over this? Oh, just gets over the walker. He's got to get past these Mets now. Oh, and he gets rushed. He gets rushed and can't get to the health. So he's going back to the checkpoint. Prissy into the water sealing room. He's gonna have to just
go for
fly through this. Oh, he's gonna go for the good one.
Go for the
Barely
he did a cancel there.
Yeah.
A little riskier. Actually, because it can cut your position kind of short.
Yeah, but he did make it. I was worried that maybe we might see an edge clip, but it looked pretty solid. Changing to Knight here pretty late, so he doesn't kill the first sub. Ooh, that drop. Good thing he caught it just in time and held A long enough to make the jump.
He misses his ladder jump.
Oh. Doesn't get the Prissy ladder jump.
He has his own setup for the ladder jump that makes them free, and he misses it.
So yeah, Prissy found a way to make the ladder jumps a little bit easier, and so Potdot's giving him a little bit of heck here for unfortunately not quite getting it.
A little bit. He did manage to get it the second time, but
he did, yeah. But either way, even with the setup that Prissy has, like it's still a pretty tough thing to do. He did get a teleport there, but it looks like oh no, he's gonna get a second one. Yeah, so there it is. Prissy finishes in first place with a 144.54, so just shy of that 145 mark. So really good. I think that might be our best time in the tournament so far.
144. I
think that's our first 144. So really, really solid run by Prissy.
Yeah, very well, very good run from him.
Yep. Definitely, again, you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see Prissy as a strong contender. I think in the bracket, single elimination part of the tournament.
Yeah, unless he gets up against a really unfortunate match early on, I suspect that he should get at least to the top 4.
Yeah, like I think first rounders, it's gonna be you're gonna see I think again some stronger runners based on the seeds probably get put against some of the weaker runners, but once you start hitting that second, third round, yeah, there's potential to be, you know, running against somebody who's very, very equal to your skill level. So we'll see what happens when we get to that part of the tournament. But yeah, congrats to Prissy. Like I said, I think this was his first race, so good start.
Yeah, very solid start, making a statement to the rest of the people in his group that he's here to compete.
Mm-hmm. And to the other pools too.
Yeah.
You know, obviously now showing that he's capable of getting the best time so far in the tournament. I mean, you gotta watch out. So Lightning is in Mega Man 5. He's beaten Star here, so it's got about the 7 stages here left in 5 before he can go on to 6. So still a little bit of ground to work up here, but it's still important, like we always talk about, the time that these runners put up is still going to be used potentially as like tiebreakers, depending on who makes it through. So
to jump off of that arrow.
I think maybe he thought it was going to run into the Stomper. Oh, he didn't jump far enough.
He didn't go far enough.
He didn't jump enough to get triggered by the gravity swapper, and unfortunately falls right into the pit.
He's gonna swap back to get some arrows back. Maybe, hopefully we'll see him ride this arrow over the Stomper.
Mm-hmm. There he goes.
There we go.
Yeah, I think he got nervous there that maybe he was too low. Again, almost missing that jump again. That was kind of scary.
He does end up collecting the letter, so...
There are a couple like jumps in this screen in particular that are pretty hard if you don't actually know. Like there's some things that's like, okay, this is actually really easy, and had I known that all you had to do was like slide off of this edge or something, you know, I wouldn't have any issues with it. But if you don't know that, there's a couple spots in that screen that are pretty scary.
Yeah.
Into the Gravity Man fight. This fight is 100% the same every single time. Pattern never changes. The only real difference is he shoots at you, so depending on your position will be where his bullets go. So I guess you could say that's the only difference. But I mean, again, you manipulate that, so if you do the fight the same way every time, it'll be the same.
Yeah.
We're heading back to fastest favorite stage in Mega Man 5.
Best one?
Gyro Man. From what I understand, he said he liked it a lot because it just has really in-depth strats. And, like, every screen is interesting, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah, I think I heard that as well. Every screen is interesting.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no waiting in the stage at all.
None. Like, it's just so fast-paced. Trying to set up these arrows. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get high enough over that to go over that Pukapelli. Oh, and that one flies up to hit him, so he's still got some arrows, but he's gonna have to be careful here to make sure he can still utilize them. Ooh, misses that jump. No, this isn't Shadow Man Fasta. You don't preserve super arrow ammo by tapping B. This is the last 46 Robot Master race of the night, but I don't know if there's anything else from this channel after this. It's kind of getting late, so I would guess not, but I won't say no because I don't know.
There might be, there could potentially be a double anti-bingo after this, but I don't recall.
Okay, yeah, so it seems like there's not. Ooh, takes a hit, but still is able to jump off that gyro block. So
a little bit close there.
You can check out the schedule. You see people posting the link there. It has the schedule of this tournament's races that are coming up, so you can definitely click that link and take a look. This screen is kind of weird. There's some really weird physics going on with some of these little single block platforms. So I know that a lot of the runners actually purposely do not try to slide on some of them. But it's kind of bizarre how it works. Ooh, health is looking a little low here. He's got to make sure he doesn't die to this turret because he needs to get into the boss room. All right.
All right, he makes it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so you can't jump out of your slide on a tile that has a cloud on it.
Ooh.
There's a couple of like interesting spots where you end up not being able to jump out of your slide, so you kind of have to be aware of where those spots are.
So unfortunately, taking a death there mid-fight, and I'm not sure, he must have had to put the controller down for a second. He's back though. So the downside of not having gravity hold now for the rest of this fight is this fight now sort of becomes like the Drill Man fight in Mega Man 4. Gyro will go way up into the sky like he's doing here and come down for very small amounts, so he's only vulnerable for certain amounts of time, which again, just like the Drill Man fight. And he's actually struggling, and he's gonna take another death. This could be pretty scary here actually, because now he's got to do the entire fight Buster only. This could be a pretty big time loss here. If he can't seem to figure out the fight, it might even lead to a game over. Hopefully he can get it.
Game overs in Mega Man 5?
It can happen, I've heard. We actually saw a game over in Mega Man 5 to Crystal Warp once already in this tournament. Somebody just didn't realize they didn't get any 1-up drops after a couple deaths in Star, and it's all it takes. Okay, he's just gonna dodge one more time.
I feel like I did that. No!
He had it! And then he psyched himself out with the gyro, and there's the game over, so he's gonna have to replay gyro.
Yep, I'm gonna have to go all the way through it again.
That's such a shame.
Oh well, at least we get to see Fasta's favorite stage one more time.
It's true. Fasta is probably jumping for joy to be able to watch this again. Ooh, okay, he gets by him. Is gonna get knocked off the arrow, but he still got to the ladder. That was interesting. I wonder if he got his jump off somehow, barely?
Yeah, while you're getting... So the arrows, when they tink off, they still have a hitbox where you can ride on them for some reason.
Oh, okay, so maybe he jumped off of it somehow.
No, he jumped off of the, he got knocked up off of the other arrow. The one that tinked off, and then must have jumped off of that one. Kind of an awkward set of situations. He does get a large arrow refill if he knows how to use it in the last screens.
I'm guessing he'll utilize it in that long room with the letter. Or maybe he'll just decide to go back to Buster here. We'll see if he remenus. Because he might want to try to use it.
Tries to avoid jumping over the ladder there, but doesn't quite end up grabbing it.
So yeah, he's going to menu back to arrow. It doesn't really save you any time if you menu a bunch, but it definitely makes this room easy, because you don't have to do anything, you just ride the arrow all the way. It is interesting that so many people like to go this right side. I never understood why, because you have to do an extra jump. And unfortunately, he jumps into the spikes. So he's heading back to the checkpoint room. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh,
he
no.
steps on that last gyro block and down it goes. So he may be on his last life again. I don't know if he picked one up. Did he pick the one up earlier in the stage?
I don't think so. He
So this could be his last life again. Just gets by those two last droppers. Let's see what happens if he can get through this stage. Well, that's another thing too, is if this is his last life, he can't do the crystal warp. If he doesn't, like, you know, that's something to be very aware of right now. He either has to take a game over in crystal early before going for the warp, or he has to play the stage. Because if he goes for the crystal warp on his last life, he'll still have to wait for that like 40 to 45 second time, and then he'll get his game over. So it's really important that he doesn't do that. Looks like he'll be fine here as long as he can get the kill this time. He's got plenty of health this time, so hopefully it won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Ooh, does fire a shot early though. So he's gonna have to finish the fight with Buster.
The menu where...
Oh, he's taking a lot of hits again. Alright, he's fine.
Okay, we got it.
Gyro does go down, finally.
Yeah, hopefully he's aware that he doesn't have any extra lives.
Yeah, that's gonna be so important.
It looked like he checked to see how many lives he had.
Yeah. So he's just deboosting, so he's gonna play the stage. So we're not gonna see this very often, actually. But, we are actually gonna see Crystal stage. This stage is pretty difficult, and as you can see right there, taking a hit. So now he'll game over here, and he'll be able to do the Crystal Warp, but doing that stage, like, fast and correctly is actually pretty difficult to do, so we'll probably see the Crystal Warp now. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, that arrow's high. Yep, that arrow is high. About one sort of... I don't even know if it's a pixel, because arrows seem to have definite placements, but that was about one arrow height placement too high.
Arrows do have pixel placements. It sometimes feels like they lock into place, but
Yeah.
I do think that they have, you can put them on every pixel.
That was very close, but unfortunately not quite where he needed it to be. So he kind of, I think he probably kind of wants ammo, to be honest, because he does have enough arrow to do it, but we saw Terex have this issue happen to him last night where he had enough and he accidentally rode the arrow too long and ran out. Ooh, just gets enough, and he gets it! Oh,
Alright, we in there.
that was kind of scary, because I think he literally had one ammo
Yeah,
when he fired. the last arrow, so
Nice, Hype Dog and Pichu, Harry.
we've already seen now where the dedication will be going to when we get to Charge Man stage.
Always important to get at least one dedication.
It is. He's got to quickly turn all his images off so he can keep playing.
Yeah.
So, at the crystal door now. Sort of back on pace now. He had some hiccups there in Gyro, but now that he's got his lives back and stuff, hopefully he'll sort of get more situated and get back to where he wants to be. And crystal's down. Prissy, you can't dedicate an already played chicken room.
Yeah, you have to pre-dedicate your chicken room. You're not allowed to
Post-dedicate.
Yeah.
So 4 more stages left in Mega Man 5 before we hit Mega Man 6. Napalm, a little bit tricky here. We didn't get to talk too much about Prissy's, some of the execution of his stages there for some of these ones, but this stage is actually kind of difficult. Like, you have to be kind of careful. There's a few strats here that, you know, you have these tigers at the beginning that are a pain because they can hit you and deal a lot of damage, but like, there's a couple screens that if you aren't careful, you can easily take a death. And one of them is actually right here. Like, if you're not careful, he's gonna go with Star Crash. That's a decent option here because that makes this room really easy.
Yeah.
But the cave room here is notorious too for sometimes, you know, there's just some weird lag going on in this room sometimes, and I've seen a few runners now get knocked into these pits, so hopefully we don't have that happen.
Using Gyro to kill his, I suppose it helps kill the flying Joes as well, so.
Yeah, this is not a bad strat. This is always the cool thing too in the tournament, seeing what people come up with, because obviously this isn't the standard speedrun strat, but ooh, his health is a little low and he's not going to get to the top of the ladder in time. The Joe is just a little bit too fast.
Joe chased after him
and catches up with him. Fortunately, getting another game over here.
And the tigers in this stage are triggered by either proximity or when you press the B button, they jump.
Mm-hmm.
So if you release the B button, they don't jump. So you can shoot them before
Taking a lot of damage here.
you reach them. But repress combo.
Ooh, he waited thinking, I guess, a third one was going to appear, and that actually was more dangerous than just going, because
Yeah.
if a third one had appeared, I think he would have just instantly died from where he was standing.
Gonna opt to collect the free E-Tank.
Yeah, it's there. It costs a little bit of time to grab, but it's there. So you might as well, if you feel like you might need it, might as well grab it. You don't get the one, unfortunately. Like, you don't get the M tank that was in Crystal, or the free one that's E tank that's in Crystal. So, kind of don't really have any other options, I guess, than here or in Stone. Does get past this Joe this time, though, so he's going to get to the checkpoint. Eddie giving him a 1-up.
Face Eddie.
Ooh, again, getting knocked off that arrow. This one might knock him off too. Okay, no, it went right into the enemy, thankfully. Ooh, we can't do the D-boost here, though. He's gonna have to avoid this enemy somehow. Okay, that's probably a good idea. Take the E-tank here, just in case he gets his shot off in time. That's a good choice, I think.
Also gonna opt for gyro strats here as well. Or maybe forgot that it's the
Ooh, he's not gonna make that jump! He jumped early.
No, dude.
And he's going back to the checkpoint. Yeah, this is really unfortunate at this point, because this game is really punishing for people that, you know, don't have a good feel for, you know, shooting between the iframes and, you know, just not being aware. Like, you gotta be aware of, like, this game doesn't have a lot of lag in it, but there are a few spots, and that's one of them, where there's just a lot, and you just, if you're not ready for it, it can just get you.
Yeah. The checkpoints in Mega Man 5 in general are also really harsh.
Yeah, you get a lot of long stages in 5. And typically, since the stages are routed very, you know, like heavily around the super arrow, there's a good chance that, you know, if you do die somewhere, you're probably not going to have any super arrow to be, you know, utilized again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty costly thing. Deaths in 5 are pretty costly. Ooh, health is looking low again. He's got to be careful. Napalm's jumping at him, but he does dodge it and get just underneath him, so Napalm is down.
Alright. Okay.
11 robots to go. So Stone, again, like talking about some longer stages, Stone is one of the longer stages of Mega Man 5, so
Yeah.
You'll see, like, this stage isn't so much about, like, there are some insta-kill stuff, like pits and spikes in this stage, but I feel like this stage is less about that and more about, you know, little mistakes, taking damage from Mets, taking damage from these telly guys like there, and so trying to avoid that kind of stuff is actually pretty critical for this stage.
Yeah. A lot of enemies that can do damage to you, not quite as many death traps.
Right. It's more a stage that's designed, I think, to wear you down.
Fortunately, there are a couple of health drops in the stage that you can pick up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like their way of saying, sorry, we put so many enemies everywhere. Here, have this health back.
Yeah, sorry, but we're not sorry because we're not taking them away. Ooh, nice. Gets the drops. His health is back to full here. Getting these little tiny Mets. lagging the game so much.
Not gonna opt to do the arrow in this room.
No, so just going right to gravity. It works. It takes out a lot of these enemies.
We'll have to use something else for the last room.
Yeah.
Because of that, though, now.
Yeah, he may be better off just switching to Napalm in the last room, depending on what he has equipped when he enters the room. But we'll see. We'll see what he decides to do.
Skips that spinning platform entirely. And he does end up giving him an E-tank, so...
I was gonna say, I didn't quite see what he actually got, so... If it was an E-tank, that's kind of handy. So he should still have... Or I guess he used the other one, so he's got one now.
Yeah.
Which might be useful for charge. We've seen... Both charge and wave, we've seen a lot of times runners have very low HP for, so... We'll see how that goes.
Yo, it's happy.
Stone just jumping over to him. That's a really good pattern.
Really rare pattern to get the small or the hop start as opposed to the power stone start.
Yeah. Two robots to go for Mega Man 5.
We're coming up on Mr. Cab's dedicated room.
Yeah. The long awaited. So yeah, again, this stage is just really fun. I think this was a really well designed stage, in my opinion. Really good choice. He's electing the D-boost through all these guys. He can actually kill them with Buster. I don't know if he realizes that.
They do die in one Buster shot.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with the arrow strat to start off that screen, you can just lemon those floating guys down.
Yeah. It is interesting though, like there's some things like that aren't very intuitive. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've stepped into a Mega Man 4 stream where somebody's playing the game casually, and it just never clues in, like people just never clue in to shoot the rocks that fall in Drill Man stage. Like, it's so obvious when you finally figure it out, but it's like, I don't know what it is, it's just like there's a disconnect there somehow, where people feel like they can't kill it, that it wouldn't be an enemy. So, there's definitely things like that in all the games, I think.
I think that in certain situations, like you see arrows tank off of those guys.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, they're either invulnerable or they're just weak to a specific weapon that I don't want to swap to.
Right. Ooh.
Oh no!
Doesn't kill him and just tries to walk by or climb by. We've seen a lot of deaths, unfortunately, for Lightning, where he's not trying to kill anything, he's just trying to damage boost through too much, is really what it is.
Just too many damage boosts.
Sometimes you just gotta slow down, kill whatever's in front of you, and take the little bit of time loss, because unfortunately you need the health. Like, again, he's taking a lot of hits again that could be costing him time later in in the later rooms. Does get by the telly this time, or the bat. I guess those are the bats. They're kind of like bat tellies. I'm not sure. Switching over to Arrow here for this room. This is actually a trickier room to Arrow. He can't just fly here. He's probably gonna die here actually with this arrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gonna get sniped out of the air. So your arrow placement has to be very specific in order to not take damage from these crossers.
Yeah, that's a much harder room to arrow in, unfortunately, so it's gonna send him back to the chicken room. Oh man.
Again.
Yep. His health is a big concern. Like, he got that drop, but like he's gonna another one too. That's really fortunate. Like, at this point he's needing that because he's not dodging the enemies. Like, that's really what you got to do here. He's getting hit by almost every single enemy in the stage. He finally gets into this last room. Again, he's deboosting. Honestly, a questionable deboost. He's using the E-Tank though, so hopefully that ends up being okay.
He should be alright for this boss, as long as he doesn't jump into Charge Man a bunch of times.
Yeah, Charge can sometimes be a jerk too with just his pattern, so You don't want to get caught inside of his hitbox for very long. And there's multiple times in this fight where charge will become invulnerable, so anytime he like does this sort of like shot up into the air and then the charge where he actually rushes you, he cannot be hit. One more hit here and charge is down.
Alright. Just got wave left.
Wave left and then one more game to go. But yeah, I think one of the hardest things too for some people to do is like knowing when to slow down and to just take your time in a spot. Like sometimes you just gotta like step back and go, no, I gotta let go of the right arrow. And I think that's something that was sort of not not clicking there for a while there in the charge stage, and he was trying to just go, and he didn't care how many times he got hit. But some of those enemies deal a lot of damage. And this will be another stage where HP could become a concern once he gets to Wave Man.
Yeah. Opting to not swap off of charge kick. If you're not going to use arrow on the last screen, I suppose this is the better way to do it.
Yeah.
Or you just let the game swap to Buster for you.
Yeah, as Terex is alluding to there, you can't shoot Power Stone more than once. Like, you can't have another triple shot on screen. And so because of that, you need to pause or wait for the stones to leave the screen before you can fire again. So we pause them off screen so that we can shoot sooner.
Opting to not use the arrow to get to the boat.
Health is already looking a little scary, and you cannot pause the game here while you're on the boat. You have to just hope for a drop. Even if he had an E-tank here, he would not be able to use it. There's a little drop. There's another little drop. Oof. He needs more of those. He's getting little by little. He's getting this health back. Oh, getting hit again. He's got to be careful. This Octo fight is going to be pretty important. Ooh, takes a hit. Takes another hit, and there's the death. So heading back to that checkpoint to start the auto-scroller section again.
Fortunately, the checkpoint is after the bubbles.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't have to re-ride them up.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, like this, it's interesting to see how many people struggle keeping their HP high enough for the Wave Man fight at the end.
Really easy to get to die to the Wave Man fight actually, because it's fairly easy to take a lot of hits in the first half of the stage, and then even if you were to skip the boats for the second half, you could be fairly low on health, and
yeah,
end up just taking a bunch of the wave hits.
Yeah, definitely. So into auto-scroller number 2. Yeah, the one thing is if you do learn the auto-scroller, it is the exact same every time. Like, the enemies come out in the same order. So, realistically, you should know where to stand to avoid damage and stuff, but sometimes you can think, well, it's an auto-scroller, so it's easy, and so you don't think about putting time in to properly practice it.
Oh man, you missed the letter, dude!
You did miss the letter.
We're not gonna see beat!
Thankfully, we don't need the letters.
Yeah. It's always just interesting to see a letter miss when you're on the boat.
Yeah.
I do think that picking it up does save some lag, even while on the boat.
It could be. I'm not sure. I've never ever tried to like frame count this auto-scroller.
I haven't
You can
either,
see
but just
again
based off.
that health,
Yeah.
just not having enough health. Like he got a D-boost through, and he's canceling a lot of slides inside of Wave's hitbox, which basically means he's going to take damage 100%. So he can do that a little less risky by allowing that slide to fully take him to the other side of Wave.
He's going to opt for a slightly safer version of the fight.
Yeah, he should be a lot safer now, though, with this much health, and Wave is down. So off to Mega Man 6, final game of this category.
8 robots to go.
Yep. And we're off to Wind.
No flame first in this race.
Thank goodness.
Everyone's going the correct route.
Oh, almost everybody. we got Primal still doing flame first, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say unfortunately. It's cool to see that there's still people playing that road a little bit, but yeah, it is definitely on, I would say, 9 out of 10 times a slower route to win.
You'd have to get an absolutely perfect flame fight to even have a chance.
Yeah. And the other thing is, flame dance, or the dance that you do for the Windman fight pretty much is impossible to do with flame, because he's going to be putting flame pillars on the floor. You can't be sliding,
throwing things at you.
Yeah, it's just not something that's possible. So not only do you lose time, not only is the fight a lot harder, but you're losing time guaranteed to a proper win fight as well. So
yeah.
But, I mean, it does give you some weapons for Wind that might make it easier. I mean, this stage it's not that hard once you learn it, but some people might find that it's easier if they have, like, maybe Night Crusher or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't ever make the stage faster, unfortunately, so that's why there's really no benefit to doing Flame first.
The fastest way through the stage is still to be on Buster the whole way.
Yep. Oof. Getting sniped by that panda, but thankfully he had the iframes to get off the spikes. I also feel like this is one of the more forgiving games to the NES. Like for new runners that aren't doing a ton of slides and the slide cancels, like this game is pretty good.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's gonna get sniped again. Ooh, has to be careful that he's not gonna fall down that little gap there.
Okay. I got scared like 3 times there.
Yeah.
Slide off it.
Okay.
Don't jump.
He's good.
Don't
he's
jump.
good. He's good.
Okay. That's way scarier than it needs to be, though.
And then he realized
no rush coil in this game.
So there's no rush coil. Can't get those health. That health item.
You get jetpack from Plantman stage.
That's the only thing you can use to get it too. So yeah, this is just obviously a much easier Buster fight than the Flame fight. So it's such a no-brainer, really. I really feel.
Yeah. You do want to fire full charge shots into them. You don't want to fire lemons. The iframes in this game are quite long.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a full second.
Yeah, longest of the first 6 games. 4s and 6s are typically the worst ones.
Yeah, it's most important to get full charges off in those ones.
So we're off to Flame now. Now that we have Flame's weakness, this fight becomes a lot easier. And Flame you still do want to do fairly early because his weapon is really strong.
Yeah, it's... Flames do 4 damage to basically every enemy in the game, whereas a full charge does 3 damage. The only other weapon that is comparable, or that does 4 damage to any enemy at all, is Powsuit's fully charged punch. 4 damage. So it's really beneficial to have the to get flames early, just because you're able to just kill things so fast with it.
Oh, goodbye, Roland.
See ya, Roland. Nice knowing you.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I mean, really, like, POW would be a nice backup for so many things if it wasn't the fact that you can't slide. Like,
yeah,
the fact that you can't slide with it equipped is just really takes away from it for potentially being useful in the 8 robots.
And like some other weapons in some of the other games, like Metal Blade, while you're using POW from the ground, it actually locks you into place on the ground. You can't move.
Yeah. So I think they really were going for that. Oh, you want to be stronger? Well, then you're gonna be less
Yeah, a little less mobile.
Gonna be, yeah, exactly. It's gonna hinder you a little bit in some way. And then the vice versa is you're more mobile with Jet, being able to fly, so you can't charge at all, so you don't do as much damage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a cool trade-off. I actually thought that the adapters in this game were really, really a cool idea.
I agree.
A really good twist on the already added Rush adapters from 3, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so for the flame fight, we're just looking for him to stay low to the ground. You can't do those long hops across the screen, long high jumps. Too wasting time. The flame pillars are always a fixed distance from him. Like, each pillar is a fixed distance away from him. So if you kind of have a general idea of when they're going to pop up out of the ground, you can always avoid them. If you're not used to it though, and you're just kind of guessing where they'll pop out, it is kind of easy to get hit by them.
Yeah. Yeah, you just sort of space yourself a certain distance from him at all times, and that way you're always sort of in a range that you can feel safe from getting hit by the flames.
Yep.
Actually, that's a pretty common thing too in this game, because you do the same thing in Wind. Is there any other ones that you do that in?
You could do it in Night, actually, where he throws his night ball to where you are.
Yeah.
So you can either back up or jump over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I always tried to like manipulate the really long night ball throws so that I could potentially get more hits in.
Oh, and Blizzard, you can wherever his snowflakes spawn, they go to your position.
Right.
You can manipulate them to be a certain distance away from you.
Mm-hmm. So we saw an ice rubber band there. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do turn cancels on ice, just because of the rubber banding effect that can take place. If you're going to... Oh, it slips off! I think he tried to jump out of the slide, ended up canceling, and then realized that you can't jump out of the slide. And
yeah, I think so.
Split off.
He's going to Wind here. I don't know if it's a miss menu or if he's going to try this weapon out and see if it's useful on the Joes.
Wind is a pretty bad weapon, actually.
Most of the
it's
time,
slow.
Yeah.
It's fairly slow. It's really laggy. It's actually the most laggy weapon in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that he's either Plants or Blizzard, but having 3 winds on screen is actually more laggy than either a Blizzard attack or a Plant Barrier on screen.
Yeah, like you can lag a screen that has literally nothing in it, like a boss room once the boss is dead, and everything. You can lag that screen with 3 wind.
Yeah, you can lag a boss corridor just with. No, he jumped
early. So he's still got lots of lives here, but he's gonna have to replay the second half again with the sub.
At least he has flame for it, so
yeah.
I guess that's one benefit of having used wind the first time.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Margarine.
Walks in the Margarine pit. does end up getting a non-butter 1-cycle sub.
Yeah. Alright. Hopefully these bumps... Ooh, he gets a lucky drop here, so he's got plenty of flame now for the boss fight. He doesn't have to worry too much.
Yeah.
Kind of careful against the ice physics that'll get you. There he goes.
Gonna
Very
end up
nice.
waiting on ice this time.
So yeah, Blizzard can be a jerk, but he's not nearly as bad as like Drill. But you don't want to get him. You don't want to get rolls from him like that, because as you can see, he becomes invincible, and then you cannot hit him.
Yeah,
so roll patterns are bad.
Even when he gives you a roll pattern to start off, you want to stay on the same side that he's rolling towards, because each time that he swaps, like when he does a longer roll, it takes longer for him to come out of it, so it ends up wasting even more time.
Yeah. Blizzard is down. That fight was kind of all over the place there, just due to, yeah, like you said, like moving him back and forth, because you were manipulating his rolls back to the left and the right and the left and the right, so... But he thankfully had enough health to manage getting through the fight.
Yep. Alright,
5 stages.
Now we're at the great casual gatekeeper of plants.
Yep. Yeah, this is the stage. I mean, even for a standard like RTA run for like a top runner, this stage like holds the keys basically. If you get through this stage, you're usually looking at a run that's going to get out of 8 robots, or have a very good chance of getting out of 8 robots.
Yeah. Hit by the stomper, but because it was a large stomp, ends up being able to get by him up the ladder.
Mm-hmm. Literally just tried to shoot Eddie here. I don't know if that was actually on purpose. I think that might have been an accident, to be honest. It looked like he just got scared for a second there. That was pretty funny.
I would have laughed if Eddie would have punished him by giving him a weapon refill instead of a health refill.
I was gonna say, I would have laughed if Eddie would have just left.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? No! I'm out! You're on your own.
You're gonna be mean to me. It's not gonna happen. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
See ya.
So yeah, these gorillas that we've been killing on plant stage, they have 24 health. So that's another reason why like flame is so useful, because like Potot said, it deals 4 damage. Ooh, fish.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about the fish jumping up. You either gotta know that they're there and know that you can get over them, or wait out at each of the water pits.
Yeah, and those fish are not random either. Like, they come out of the exact same pits every time, so if you know the stage and know where they are, it's not very risky. You just gotta make sure you know where they are so that you can, you know, be ready to jump accordingly. Careful here. The fish kind of jump to your height, so if you're way up in the air when they spawn, they'll go higher on the screen.
Okay.
It's got another one right here. None here.
He's checking it like he doesn't. Yeah, I don't think he knows which ones have it.
Yeah. Yeah, so he'll have to probably check a lot of the water sections here. Make sure that he doesn't get sniped. Hopefully he doesn't get greedy! Right there. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, like that's why this stage is so tough. You've got a combination of the like, at least the platform part isn't really the issue in this category, well, for him, because he's not doing platforms, but the springs and the combination of those enemies and those springs and the fish can be a real nightmare. Especially when you don't know where they are.
The wind does do 2 damage, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be a worthwhile switch. Just because there's all the extra lag because you're using wind, and it's really easy to tink off, and then they're just on the ground for forever.
Going the other way. Yeah. So again, his health is getting low again. He's getting hit a lot, so hopefully he can get to... Well, he can get out of this area.
Blizzard does not help very much, plus you want to use it for the boss, so it's really not useful to use it early.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a pretty crazy dodge. Oh my goodness, and again. Oh, he's got to hold A.
You can just hold the button, and you'll do full bounty.
Yeah, it's not like Super Mario Bros. 3 where like a music block you actually have to time your A press. The springs in this game are super easy. You just hold A, so that when Mega Man hits it, if you're holding A, you'll do a high jump. So it's really easy once you figure that out. Ooh, he's got to be super careful now. Oh, and unfortunately, he just doesn't have.
I think he might have been trying to do the.
I think he's trying to press A. And that makes that room incredibly hard.
It makes it way harder if you're trying to press A as opposed to just hold it. I know, casually I was the same where I thought it was, because I also had SMB3 as a child. I thought you had to press, and then I figured it out, where it was like, oh, you don't have to press on it, you can just hold the button. That makes this way easier.
So we've got lots of flame again because of the game over. This little hopper is chasing him down.
Grasshoppers, please.
Oh, there's 4 of them now on screen. This is going to be really laggy.
6 is generally a low lag game, but certain enemies can cause a lot of lag on their own. The grasshoppers and the beetles in the stage being some of them.
Yeah. Nice little 2 jump there. So again, gotta watch out for these enemies. The placements of some of these enemies is, like I said, it's not really nice. So, he can take his time. Nice little double platform open there.
Very nice. Rush Jetpack is actually not useful in this stage. Using Jetpack on springs is really troll.
Ooh, yep.
No, the clip!
Just
well, not
short.
the clip.
The fake clip.
The fake clip. Where it looks like you clip, but
you don't.
not actually a clip. Like, having the old Rush Jet might be useful. Nice double refill.
Yeah, even that, like, I would say even not, right? Because the fish would jump all the way up to your position
The fish
and knock
would
you
jump
off.
But
And, like, I don't think Jet would move fast enough. Maybe. It'd be hard to say.
well, maybe if it was the Mega Man 3 Jet, it would be fine. But
Yeah,
the 4 and 5 Jet, it would not.
right. The only benefit with 4 would be is you would get hit, but at least Rush would then warp to your position so you wouldn't get knocked off.
Yeah.
Whereas 5s, you definitely would.
5 objectively is the worst jet, just based off of that.
Definitely.
It's not like it's fast or anything, it's just the worst. And by fast I mean spawning fast.
Yeah, like it definitely does have that benefit to it, but that's about the only thing it's got going for it. I think. Oh, there we go. Getting further than he's ever been. Just a couple more jumps to go. Hopefully this last fish doesn't get him. Oh, can you make it? It's tempting! Alright, we did it!
Okay, we did it.
Nice.
We're through the stage, we just got the boss.
So Plant is kind of an awkward fight, but he's not that hard, actually. If you take it nice and slow, this fight is pretty easy.
Yeah, you can always make sure that he doesn't hit you, because he runs to your position, so if you just wait for him to start walking and then slide away, he will never hit you, and then you just wait for his jump and decide which way to move.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's only got exact ammo now, he can't miss any shots. He's missed 3 already. It might have been 4, he might have actually used one too many. I think he's got enough, though.
Yeah, he's got enough if he doesn't miss.
A little close on health, but he should be okay. And he gets his kill. So Plant is down.
We in there. 4 left.
Yep. 4 to go, and they are definitely not as hard as that one. Actually, I always kind of feel like now you kind of have a break, because Tomahawk and Yamato are kind of like 2 of the easier stages.
Yeah, they're the 2 easy stages. Following Plant.
It's kind of like, okay, now we've got a nice little break here before we get to Knight and Centaur to close out the 8.
Because there's really
Back
no...
to wind.
There's no,
The Coltons fly away.
Yep. It's especially nice because they end up going through their fire animation as they're flying away as well. They just like end up shooting nothing out a bunch of times. Yeah, there's no, there's only one, I guess there's 2 instant death spots in Tomahawk. There's the jump right before the last screen, and then the last screen has a couple of spikes, but...
Yeah, I would say the last screen is the scarier one, for sure.
Yeah, there's not really anywhere that you can just straight up die in Tomahawk main stage. It's sort of like Stone in that way, where there's just a bunch of enemies in your way.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun to see wind strats and have enemies just fly off the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. Ooh, nice slide under that first guy.
Pretty good chain there, actually. Gonna take that spot nice and safe. Probably seen a few people try to get greedy with their slide and end up falling into the pit.
Mm-hmm. And gets a health drop right at the end. That's actually kind of nice too, because Tomahawk can be kind of a jerk when it comes to jumping into you. So, with that much health now, he should be able to take, a few deboosts without too much danger.
Yeah, Tomahawk is probably the most frightening fight, just because he's more random. His Tomahawk throws do 5 damage, so it's easy to take a lot of extra damage from him. Gotta be careful. Plus, you have to fight him close range with plant barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And if he corners you, so he determines his next pattern based on when his attack goes off screen. So if he gets you stuck in a corner, he actually attacks much faster.
Yeah.
Because his attacks are going off screen faster. You generally want to try to put as much space between him and the nearest wall as you can.
So again, last time in Yamato for the night. Sort of a nice, again, easier stage. Not very many enemies in this stage. You see, you have some of these screens here where there's like just long sliding sections. He does still have 2 E-tanks, which could be useful for his Knight and Centaur stages.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to press twice climbing when you release Jet to go up a ladder.
That was quite an epiphany to me when you first told me that. It was sort of like when somebody told me you could use B to menu in 3. Because I had about the same sort of realization when you told me about that. I was like, oh. Because normally you would think, oh, I gotta press A to let go of the ladder and then press A to fly. But in reality, you just press A, you let go of the ladder, and by holding A, you start flying. So it's kind of interesting how it's like you would think it would be pretty easy to figure that out, but for whatever reason, I just couldn't get it through my head. Ooh, health is looking low. He's probably actually okay here, even if he just like mashes really hard. But he's gonna take the E-tank. Yeah.
That feel when fast at CC Yamato?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a feel. I don't know what it feels like, but I'm assuming it's a feel.
Yeah, I don't know what it feels like either. Yamato.
We sort of have a running joke. Fasta likes to talk about how that fight is very difficult, and Potdot and I just don't really see it. So it's just so easy.
I don't think it's overly difficult.
Right.
Just because bosses in this game, another thing to mention, basically every boss in this game is locked into swapping patterns after they do something twice. And because Yamato only has 2 patterns, either the spin or the jump,
yeah, it's very
you basically always know what he's going to do next.
Right.
The only boss actually that's not locked into the do something twice and then swap is Knight for some reason. He can do as many jumps or throws or walk cycles as he wants without swapping.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So going with some jet strats, avoiding those spikes. There's that double A.
The double A press.
No, it's not overly surprising though that he doesn't know that. I mean, I didn't know it for quite a while as well.
Yeah.
It's just such a random thing. And then when you realize it, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, why was I jetting for like a split second before?
Yeah. Into the Mad Nerd room. Ooh.
Oh.
Having some issues there. Get some.
Doesn't respawn the second Mad Nerd.
He's thinking about the E-tank. He's got 2 E-tanks though. I don't think he needs that one.
He's going to use this one and then collect it. So he's got 2 E-tanks for the night fight and for all of Centaur.
Yeah.
Probably won't need it, but he's not overly confident.
Yeah. Into the bouncy castle room for the last screen of night. This is such a great room, actually.
Yeah, there's some actually really cool movement that you can do with the bouncy castle.
6 did a really good job of actually bringing in some new ideas that were never used in any of the other games. Like the oil pits in flame, like these bouncy things, the springs. Like there's a lot of new stuff in this game that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bosses are actually pretty fun to fight, so I
Mhm.
always thought this game was a blast when I played it first time casually.
And the buster fights are, even though it takes a long time to do the buster fights, they're still really interesting.
Yeah.
Like Knight, you can fire underneath his shield. You can't shoot through his shield with Buster, but you can. When he does a jump or when he's throwing his ace around, you can fire underneath the shield.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Last
Last stage. Hi, Metroid.
See you, Metroid. Oh, we're gonna swap
We got
the
more wins. Do you think there's something to this? Like the winds look like little storm clouds as they go by, and his name is Lightning.
Oh, of course.
Do you think there's like a running thing?
There
going
has
on?
to be. Obviously, that has to be a thing. Why else would he use wind everywhere?
I feel like that might be what's going on here. Woo-hoo-hoo. He has a haircut by the spikes there. Again, another haircut. Oh my goodness. That I think he might have even brushed that one spike, but he had iframes.
I think he bonked it, and that's why he didn't make it.
Yeah. Oof. Scary water room. So we'll try again. The idea of hitting these little fish with winds is really funny to me.
And I love how they disappear immediately.
Yeah, they die right away.
Yeah, you don't want to slide off of that edge.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the physics work, you do have a chance of getting heavy physics and falling faster. With the wind straps, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got quite a few of them. It's pretty cool. It's always nice to see something like this because obviously, casually, you see so many people just go through with Buster. And that's what everybody likes. Everybody's used to Buster. So when you see somebody else actually using the weapons, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, and he's clearly got strats. Again, dude, these jumps over by the spikes are incredibly terrifying.
I mean, it's a good thing that Mega Man falls so fast in this game.
This water screen, dude. Oh my god.
Underwater room. We're through it.
That's terrifying. But he's gonna get to the checkpoint room, which is... Thank goodness. Oh my god. It's like a heart attack every single jump. Just to wait for the water ceiling to come back down. Ooh, did he jump? That was pretty close again.
The only way he wouldn't have made it is if he would have released early.
Yeah. Get rid of the Roland type enemies that are in his way.
Does end up just boosting through one of them.
Not a whole lot staged left here. Just about 2 more sort of riskier stages or screens, and then he's through. And with the 2 E-tanks, I mean, once he's out of these 2 rooms, there's no reason that he won't finish. Hardest part done, I would say.
So he's got the last Metroid's room.
Last couple jumps. No, go back up there. You don't belong down there. You go back up there. That was pretty funny. Here we go.
Lift off the squid. Yeah.
So this is basically it now. Like there's like he can E-tank here if he wants, but like this run is basically over. It's pretty hard to not finish once you get to the Centaur boss room. He's gonna E-tank, it looks like, anyway, just to be safe, but Centaur doesn't deal a lot of damage, and so it's kind of hard to actually die to him unless you can't seem to figure out how his teleporting works. So this should be pretty much a done deal.
It's a good pattern to start off. Gets another run.
Another run. One teleport here, unfortunately. But no flash, and that's it. So GG, he finished here in under 3 hours. RaceBot had him at a 2 hour, 55 minute, and 11 second time. So congratulations.
Very well. Very well finished.
So again, I think that was Lightning's first run of the tournament. So we'll see. We'll see what'll happen. He's got 2 more races to go. Like it'll be interesting to see whether he can improve, you know, in the next little bit before his next race, and see if he can beat this time. And I definitely feel he will. Like with the struggle he had with, you know, different things like plant, and you know, there's definitely like some stages in there where if he gets through them, you know, without dying and stuff, he's got a really strong chance at saving a big chunk of time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really that's all she wrote there. So yeah, I just want to thank again, as always, Feasel for restreaming here tonight, and for the racers really for participating. We had you know, a really good run. We had prisiii in the second race here that you just saw. He taking the best time in the race so far, or in the tournament so far with his race time tonight. Like, you know, like seeing that is really awesome. So
yeah,
you know, we've got some good racers in this tournament, and we're going to be seeing probably that time beaten even, I'm sure, by the end of this thing. So I'm really
there's definitely some runners with the potential to get even lower than that.
Yeah, for sure. So, but I guess that'll probably do it for us. We've been going pretty long here. So
yeah, you did the double duty commentary.
It's all right. It's fun. I love doing it.
Yeah,
it's always fun to watch and see how people do.
And it looks like tomorrow we've got 3 races going on. There's McRavenator versus Ozoma happening at 10:30 EST, 10:30 AM. And then there's a little bit of a break. We got Doisum versus Lightning. He's going to be playing again tomorrow at 9 PM EST. And then Darko versus Negazeus at 11 PM.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting because I think Negazeus was the second seed in that pool. So I'm kind of curious to see.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see how well he does, because that'll be his first race as well. So some of the runners that didn't get any in there to really get any races in to like see how good they are yet. We're going to be seeing some of them for the first time here, so it's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the initial setups start panning out. See who starts getting into their second and third matches with a win under their belt.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we've seen about 4 or 5 people clinch, I guess, from the tournament so far that are already in. So there's still a good like 15 spots yet in this bracket. So we're going to be seeing a lot of changes going on with these pools, I think, in the next week or so. These runners do have 2 full weeks to get their 3 races done each. So we've been through we're getting close to about 1 full week here. We started on last Saturday. So after tomorrow, we'll have done 1 full week, and the runners will still have another full week to go to get their final races in. So I'd say we're a good, we're just over the third of the way through the pool play for races. So a good probably 35 or so more races to come. which is a lot of Mega Man when you think about it.
Still a
From that
lot of Mega
perspective.
Man coming up. A lot of
Yeah.
robots to be beaten still.
Definitely. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's about it for us.
Yep, that'll be it. Thanks everybody for coming to watch. Thanks Feasel for the restream, and Chelney, thank you for your commentary.
Yo, thanks for joining, man. It was awesome.
And we hope to see you guys tomorrow for the next races.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely stop in and support these racers who have put a lot of time into learning these games. So take it easy, everybody.
Have a good night.